I got this. Okay. I got it. Okay.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
If you really want some film at 11, why don't you follow me down to the brewery? I'll tie a bowling ball to my ankle, dive in the vat of beer. I'll leave this world the same way I entered my marriage, dead drunk!
Hello?
Want a beer?
Hook it up!
Hey, hook me up!
Y'all heard, take it from the top. 1, 2.
Beer?
This is how we do it.
My mic sound nice, check 1. My mic sound nice, check 2. My mic sound nice, check 3. Are you ready?
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
You like parties? Yeah. We can invite all our friends and have soda and pie. Yeah! I hope no bad people show up.
My mic sounds nice, check 1. My mic sounds nice, check 2.
My mic sounds nice, check 3. My mic sounds nice, check 4.
My mic sounds nice, check 5.
My mic sounds nice, check 6.
Are you ready?
You want some of this milk?
Rather have a beer.
What do you guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah! Holy shit! Good evening. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. What kind of faces are you making over there, Pete?
We're talking about Rammstein. Is my mic on?
You say Romcon?
Rammstein.
Oh, Rammstein.
Rammstein? Stein.
Stein. All right. Well, they're German, or
They sure are.
it's a lot of German in there. All right, great. This is where Mike P. GovsRadio.com. We are live here at the biggest and the baddest comedy place here in Long Island. It's Governors in Levittown, our home base. Back in the studio again. We have some guests with us today, as you can see, so we'll get to them in just a minute. Very quickly, right off the top, we will get through some sponsors. There they are, some sponsors.
Great.
I mean, I was told not to mention them anymore, but I'm not going to not mention them because they've been with us since we started over 2 years ago. So, mybomberjackets.com, shirtsontap.com, go to Tavor, go to taphandles.com, go to Hartwell Wood Shop, go to Drink Aid. Oh, I didn't bring the goddamn Drink Aid. I'm sorry, Drink Aid. I suck the biggest sack of nuts I could possibly find, so I apologize for that. I told them we would do it tonight.
A lot of ball sucking.
No, I was rushed today. I was on a film shoot, and then I came through here. It's just I've been all over the place. So what else? Shirts on Tap, did I say?
Sure.
Okay, and then there was the other one that Hopsy beer. We're gonna probably start getting sponsored by them, and then it's gonna be a pay. Yeah, I'll let you know later.
Okay.
We don't talk very much anymore since you had a child. We don't talk anymore. There's one more. I know I'm missing one. Tap Handles, Hartwell. And there's one pretty big one that I think
is it Copake's Fine fan?
No. No, I think we locked this one in, and I can't think of it. It's really starting to bother me. I'll think of it later. It'll just pop into my mind. Or if I just look at our Instagram, it'll be fine. So there's our sponsors for tonight. And, of course, we're always sponsored by GovsRadio.com here on Long Island. Go to govs.com for your listing of comedy and the upcoming shows.
Joey Cole is back, I heard.
And I saw there's a bunch of... he's always just back. That's the thing about Joey. He's I'm coming back. All right, so he's back. Great. And so let's. I want to kind of hit the post here, and we ran through the sponsors so quick. I don't know why.
Hit the post.
Oh well, Flag Beverage. I did tell him I would mention Flag today. Our friend Mark from Kings Park had dropped by some of the blonde ale, the Krolsch, over to Flag, as well as our buddy Paul from Ghost, and they say they miss Steve, and we miss Steve here tonight as well. Steve, if you're out there, if you're listening, buddy, we love you, and we do miss you tonight, but he had some things actually with the brewery to do, so he was taking care of that business.
Ending the brewery.
Business. He had business, yes, the ending work, but still work nonetheless. That's one thing people don't realize about breweries. There is an exit kind of end game you have to figure out. Are you adjusting live in the air?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so All those are good sponsors. And, of course, Pete from North Fork couldn't be with us tonight either, so my buddy Mike Cassiopoulos was going to be disappointed that I didn't snag 1 or 2 Northports for him.
Back to that lacto.
He was here
Yes.
on that show. So that was the packed out show. It was Ian and Pete. It
Hartwell.
was Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie came through from 1940s. It was Hartwell Woodshop. And then it was you, me, and my buddy Mike Cassiopoulos from Boston. And he came down and visited. And then, of course, Graz, stumbles through the door and is there. This is where Mike and Pete, GubsRadio.com. We'll just kick it off real quick with the phone lines. Who's this?
It's DJ D Love. How you guys doing?
Oh, my God. D, what are you doing calling so early? Usually at least 15 minutes in.
Nah. Just chilling, man.
You're getting a lot looser on the phone with us, D.
What do you mean, bro?
Well, I mean, you're just getting like, hey, what's going on, guys? You used to be a little more uptight when you first started calling in. But right now, you're loose as a goose. What are you doing today? Are you drinking tonight?
No, I don't drink. Come on, guys. I don't drink at all.
I know. But maybe a wine cooler or two. Maybe just get a box of Franzi or something
Do they
and
still
just have a
make
good
wine
night.
coolers? Is that still a thing? Anyone? Anyone?
They do make wine coolers, yes. I think most people would now pick up the White
Little
Claw.
claws.
The claw. You got to have a...
Unless SEMA makes it.
Right.
Or that's back, too.
Bodines. I used to love me some Bodines. You don't necessarily have to drink beer, Dennis, to listen to the Wort with Mike and Pete. I appreciate it. I know...
DJ D Love, guys.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yes, you befriended us on Facebook under 3 different names. Your real name, and then like 2 other pseudonyms. One was D Love, and that's your DJ name?
Yes, it is.
There it is. I appreciate you calling. But all right, listen, we got to get to the show. I didn't even introduce our guest, bud, so I appreciate you calling in.
No problem. Oh, guess what? Got an announcement, too.
Good.
On August 17th, please watch the show.
August 17th?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Way to get out there early, Dennis.
Yeah, D.
Good for you.
So you have your date locked in, 8 months from now. It's perfect.
Yes, August 17th, I'll do my own show.
Okay.
It's called DJ D-Lo Special.
Do you now? Just a quick question before we let you go. Do you have a format that you're going to be putting together really quick?
Yeah, I already got all set to go going already.
All right. Here's my recommendation as a past radio up and comer. What I would do if I were you is I would just practice. I would get like a mic from Radio Shack and just plug it into your computer and just practice.
Radio Shack went out of business.
Right. No, there's still 1 or 2 somewhere. I'm sure there's. Okay. Listen, D-Love isn't quite living in the now
I don't want to set him
anyway.
on a goose chase.
A wild goose chase around Long Island.
Looking for a fucking Radio Shack
Jesus
that doesn't
Christ.
exist.
All right, so anyway, find a microphone in the cheaper end. That's what I was going with.
Amazon.
There you go, Amazon. Do you have Prime account? All right, let's not get into
sell
that.
everything. All right.
That's too much. All right, D. Listen,
Thanks for calling in, buddy.
No problem, guys. Do you know what the word is?
The bird is the word?
No.
What?
It's called booyah is the word.
Booyah.
Does it have to be?
I don't have a booyah sound effect, but I have this.
I'd fucking walk out the door if you did.
So there you go. You get the can openers for your booyahs.
All right, guys. Just watch my show and August 17th.
All right. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Good times, Dennis.
Dennis calling from his house, I guess.
That was August 11th, right?
August 17th?
17th.
17th?
Clear the calendars now.
21st?
I think we'll be out on a beer festival on August 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I already have plans. For the past
That's right. That's right. All right, so let's get right into introducing our guests here. Only 11 minutes into the show. Thanks, D. We have Mark from Kings Park Brewing Company. He's here with us. So thanks a lot for coming in. Up and coming brewery. We got a lot to talk to you about. And then, of course, as we mentioned, we have some gentlemen and a young lady here. And I say young lady because I'm breaching 40, so
it's a lady.
I show my age a little bit now. And we're welcoming. We'll announce it as Ambassador Studios, correct? Because you guys are the co-owners of Ambassador Studios, and they're doing a craft beer independent film. Pretty much right now, you've been shooting here and there series, bits and pieces for YouTube and stuff like that, called In Hops We Trust. So, what do you want? Another
paper towels?
Paper towels. Will you always make? Oh, look at that. I don't know where that came from. That was a little weird. You had that on the ready very quickly.
Hey, I don't know.
Leave a little mystery in there.
We'll leave the speculation for the people at home. If you are watching at home, call them. I'm sorry. We have Ralph and Chris and Ruth over here from In Hops We Trust, the series, and I guess we'll get into kind of where the series is and where we're going with that and everything else throughout the night as we drink our sorrows away, folks.
Oh God, yeah. Can we? Can we start drinking?
We
our
can
sorrows
start
away?
drinking. Let me.
I've got a few. Cheers.
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 I try not to put the beer over the board as much as I can.
Oh fuck yeah!
Is this a double?
This is a double from Sekatog.
So quick shout out to Ken, obviously, and what he's been doing with Sekatog. So my buddy Eric, Friday, not last Friday, but the Friday before that, he texted me. He said, "Listen, I'm going over to Sekatog. They released the double again." He's a huge Belgian style fan, as you are, and I said, I should tell Pete that he's got it either back on or it's whatever. So, and then literally like the next day or 2 days later, maybe it was Thursday, and then you texted me on Saturday, and you went over and grabbed it. So
that is malty and delicious, and I like it.
It's got all the Belgian goodnesses of it, right?
It is tasty.
Let's get right into it, Mark. Let's talk a little bit about where you're at, because there are people now starting to see your branding and seeing your beer on the shelves, as we mentioned at the top of the show. Even my local distributor now has a couple of 4-packs of the beer. Tell us where this all got started and kind of bring us up to date on where we are right now with the plans, the brews, and everything else.
Sure. So, I mean, this is a culmination of years and years of home brewing for fun. As you know, I'm sure mostly everybody started out with that.
Right.
Long time ago, my daughter was born, and my wife was pregnant, and doctor said no yeast in the house, so I stopped brewing, and I just kind of forgot about it for a little while, and I felt like there was something missing, and I started again. And
Pete, do you have yeast in your house?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Apparently the doctor.
Was it something specific to your child, or was it just in general?
No.
Just general.
No.
Don't
my
put
wife
yeast
was
in the house.
pregnant, and the doctor said no yeast in the house while your wife's pregnant. So I was like, all right. So I stopped for a while, and
I definitely must have missed
started
that
up again, and you
didn't read the baby
hit it hard.
books. That's what it is. You didn't read the baby books. Sorry about that.
We
do this
no
often.
worries.
This is how we
That's
drag it out to a 4-hour show, Mark.
That's all right. Yeah, I had I started up again, and I hit it hard, and I was really enjoying it. And a friend of mine said, why don't you think about maybe going pro at it? And he loved the stuff that I had, and he had a bar, and he said, if you want, you can do like a little event over here and see what people think. So that kind of spurred me on to doing like a lot of different events. I wanted to take a lot of the recipes that I had, which I had a ton of them, and I was taking things and going to people's barbecues, having friends set me up at barbecues that I didn't even know the people.
Yeah.
And just checking
Which
it out.
is probably one of the best ways
Yeah,
to do it. Don't give it to your friends. Your friends are all going to grab you nuts and say you're the
It's
best.
still free beer, but you might get some constructive criticism, shall we say?
Well, you know what it is too. You go to the ones where you don't know anybody, and they don't know that it's you that did it,
right?
And you just walk around, and you're just another guest,
right?
And you're listening to what people say, and you get a lot of good feedback. And
about the beer, but about you being a weird creep walking around staring at people, you get not as good feedback.
I get that on a regular basis, though.
Who's that guy in the corner who just keeps listening to conversations? That's
well,
what did you?
I had like a thing on the ear.
Yeah, your glassware sitting up against the wall, hearing in the bathroom, a couple girls. This is so good. Like, oh yes. Somebody walks by. Excuse me, sir. What was the first style that you released at one of these events?
Oh God, that's a good question.
Because I'm sure it had to probably do with style.
I can't even remember. It's been a while.
Okay.
I tried a lot of different things, and I generally didn't get any really negative feedback. There was one that I did. I tried getting a little bit off the beaten path, and I did a chipotle oatmeal stout,
which is delicious. Yeah, and you know who does one just like that is it wasn't a stout, though, it was a porter. Mm-hmm. Why can't I think of place in Queens, right by the Queens Brewery? It is called Rich from
Bridge and Tunnel.
Thank you, Bridge and Tunnel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he does the same thing, but I appreciate that style. It's a good style.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not the everyday beer,
Right.
So you mentioned you had a lot of recipes, and I assume these go back a bit of a ways now, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man, on like New England IPAs then? Because I'm sure that's not a recipe you had 20 years ago.
I did not have one then. I do not have one now, and I will not have one. I just don't like, one of the things that I sometimes forget is that I'm not brewing for myself now.
Right.
And although I don't like those, I still just can't bring myself to do it.
No, I mean, the market being what it is,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
don't you
It's
like
just so saturated with that right now.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it's one of the you're damned if you do, damned if you
Yeah.
don't, because it's a style I feel like you have to, because that people coming to your brewery, if they don't see it on the board, they
Right.
may not come back. But it's also a style that's so hard to stand out. Even if even if it's an
Right.
8 out of 10, there's still 30 other breweries that are making stuff.
Absolutely. And well, I guess I was gonna talk about this a little bit later on, but I was lucky enough to be introduced to Jim Cook this past year.
Cool.
We've
Hi,
had
I'm
a
Jim
few,
Cook.
Exactly. we've had a few conversations talking about the business of brewing, and being that I am contract brewing with North Fork, and I don't have a brick and mortar place. I don't have a physical location where I can have my my tap room and be rotating things every day. It's hard for me to do a 10-barrel brew and then push out 40 kegs out to the bars of something just odd off the wall every other
yes,
week.
yeah.
It just doesn't work for me. I can't do that. So one of the things that I talked to Jim about early on was that I've always been enamored with his his business model, the way he started out, and he took that one beer and pushed the hell out of it, and just kind of shoved that down everybody's throat.
What, Sam 76?
No.
Yeah. I love Sam 76.
I know.
But
I don't
really,
mind it. I just not one of the ones I love, but I don't mind it at all. It just feels like with that brewery, I wanted something a little more like those really unique one-offs that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that to be the thing that they brought up and distributed out, because I'm not in the area, so I don't get it as often. You have to be really going to the brewery for those really unique beers, or pay $150 for that once a year brew. What is it?
Utopias.
Yes, Utopia. Thank you. I'm never good with names. Right, Mark? Gosh, that one.
Yeah, but in any case, though, I mean, that was a big thing that I needed to kind of feel it, see if what I was doing really made sense. And I said, we have, these two flagship beers that I just want to push out to everybody, and kind of, while everybody else has the ability to get, 10 new beers out every month,
right.
I can't do that. And how does this sound? And the with the conversations I've had with Jim, he's kind of, he's told me, hey, look, you're doing the right thing. You're the outlier. You're not like everybody else. And not to say that what everybody else is doing is a bad thing. It's a good thing. It works for them, but I just can't do it. So instead of trying to be a little fish in a big pond, I'm kind of, forcing my way into a different business model. So far it's working out okay, and I'm only doing it on a part-time basis.
And do you think that was a good recommendation from him, knowing the temperature of what brewery scene here is on Long Island? Did he have something to go off of?
we talked about that a lot too, and that was one of the things that he said. Do you feel that there are, is there anybody else doing that same thing as well? And I said there maybe there might be one other, maybe two other people trying to do something similar, but for the most part, it seems that everybody is really going in there and riding that, let's get some new stuff out, while like Pete and Ian over at North Fork, they have a good staple of of things that they keep on there all the time, which is, I feel, a necessary evil. You gotta have that. You get your
house
those
beers,
things that everybody loves, and then rotate some other things in there. And that's
I didn't
great.
start with that either. They started with a lot of different, things that they wanted to get out there.
Right.
They did the same thing. They gauged the temperature of the audience, found out what people loved. They brought it back. They sold out. They knew that was something that had to stay. And as they developed over the last, year or so, they really kind of locked down those staples. I hate saying it, but that's what they are, the staples of the brewery. And now able to throw on rotating seasonals. experimentals, right? Yeah. And now also on top of that, they're not. I mean, you're not the only one contract brewing with them. They're taking on a ton of contract brewing. Funny thing we said about this before, because I know one of the things that I mentioned before when you said, not everyone had a negative comment about it, and it's interesting. I saw an episode of Shark Tank where one of the things of Shark Tank was the model was you get to submit a recipe. They'll brew it for you. If, in fact, it wins the vote of an audience, and then they'll mass produce it and distribute it under their brewery. So it was kind of that concept. But one of the Sharks had some interesting stats that not every brewery is turning out and operating at 100% capacity. A lot of them are only working at about 40% capacity, which is leaving a lot of money on the table. Mm-hmm. So to pick up that slack, a lot of breweries that have the space, obviously, and the time, go to people like yourself that would want a couple of batches done in larger capacity and get it out for you and still be able to continue with their brews and then hopefully fill that gap of, the downtime between their batch and another batch or whatever it might be. Do you find that difficult working with North Fork and the rotation and everything that's going on there?
No, not at all. I mean, we when we get ready to do something, it's basically we're doing that far enough in advance where they're planning everything out, and they're very, very, very organized. I mean, they really have their shit together over there. They're it's very easy to work with them because it's I'll say, okay, I'm going to need to start doing something let's say the first week of April. They're going to look and they're going to they'll give me, okay, well we can get this in here on April 4th. We know that one's going to take 15 days to go through its cycle. Okay, bang, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So it's and now even when they have a few other contracts now.
Yeah. Where we talked to Rob Raffa from Ubergeep, who they take on, and there's another one, and I couldn't think of what it was.
Yeah, there's one more, and I don't recall who it was.
I'm sure if Pete was listening, he would call in. I'd ask him to call him, so we'll see what happens. But
actually, what we should have done is just kind of fit a small chair in here and had like Pete's head on it.
On a little paddle.
Flat Pete.
Yeah, Flat Pete. There you go. He could answer. How you doing?
One of the ways going back to Sam Adams, one of the ways I feel like I know a style is going to stick around for a while is when Sam Adams catches on to something that's a trend. So, they have a sour beer that's, available year-round. Sours are probably popular enough that they feel they need to invest in. Same with, New England IPAs. They have a hazy IPA now that is around, available year-round because that's the market trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just have not developed a taste for that. Everything is subjective.
Of course.
But
not the only brewery we've heard from that says, we're not going to do that.
Well, that was my other point about the Shark Tank thing. So they gave out paddles, basically
with Pete's head on it?
Yeah. They gave out a flight to everybody with a couple of different styles. And it was funny going down the line, whether it was five sharks up in front. Some of them liked certain styles. Some of them were spitting out other styles. One of them was a sour, and most of them were like, they weren't, at that palate level yet that people are in the craft beer scene that would want more out of that, or less out of this. And the porter they liked, the chocolate, I think it was a peanut butter porter. So it was just interesting because, for non-craft beer drinkers, when they first get those sips, it's kind of like, who knows what their palate is at this point, and who knows where it's going to go from there. So you got to, as a brewer, got to understand, kind of the trends and also what the future is going to be. And I think we saw that with, of course, New England IPAs over the last 5 years. And now we're starting to see it with sours and farmhouses and wild. And people are starting to turn their palates a little bit. And I think that's part of the brewers and their push to do stuff like that.
Right.
Like you said, you can't brew what you like anymore. But you might be able to pull a few people.
What's going to sell?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But you can always have something that would pull people maybe out of that or develop their palate more.
Right.
And that way it will get back on track with your palate as well.
Sure.
And I'm sure you guys, being big craft beer drinkers as well, kind of see that out in the field. I mean, I'm sure that's one of the things you guys see, and we've seen the New Jersey scene. It's freaking
absolutely
awesome.
Yeah,
Same thing with New York. Is it getting saturated yet? Is there's this level of saturation? Well, at one point, if they're all any New England IPAs, yeah, there's a saturation of that. Everyone's got to do one, obviously. But if there is a a brewery like doing Kolsch's, blondes, traditional styles, those are a little few and far between at this point in the development, both here on Long Island and also in New Jersey. So someone coming up doing that might find their footprint. Who the hell's breathing on the phone? Very.
Graz just breathing heavily into the phone.
Why do you got to breathe? What are you going upstairs?
Because I'm fat, all right?
I know.
And because I'm a little pissed off, but I'll let you talk and then I'll listen, and then you can introduce me.
What are you on?
Why are you pissed off already?
I'll tell you why. You fucking idiots need to come up with a diet beer. Might get 16 people.
Are you getting too fat to?
No, you guys got to come up with a diet beer. Tell Kings Park or whoever the fuck else is in
Montauk
that
has
studio.
one.
Yes.
There you go. Done.
All right.
I don't want to drink it.
Hopscotch gets 16 fatties in my bus yesterday, right?
They weren't fat.
Well,
That looked
wait
like a
minute.
good
couple of
crowd.
Guys look like Greg from fucking whatever that thing
Well,
is.
he's a monster.
Okay.
I dare you to go and call him a fatty to his face.
You shut up. You got a new kid. I'll fucking punch you in the face.
Oh, God. Please, can it be one of those one-punch things where the guy dies at the end? Can it be one of those punches?
Don't feel anything. It just didn't.
So we go, we go to Long Island, we go to Norfolk, we go to Mustache, and everything's great, right?
Right.
Dropped everybody up on hopscotch. Great place. He did food. He did a great job. Do you know one of these fucking fatties cracked the back of one of my seats?
What do you mean?
Do you know that one of these fatties got in the back of my seat and it snapped in half like a fucking Twizzler?
How did they do that?
Do Twizzlers snap?
No, they're
I
very
think you need a
bendy.
different analogy, sir.
I had a few today. They were very bendy.
How's that? A cracker. Just snap like a cracker.
There we go.
There you
That's
go.
better.
All right.
Maybe a pretzel.
Do you know I gotta go to an upholsterer and I gotta get a bill and I'm gonna give the bill to Hopscotch. I don't give a crap. The fatty he cracked my whole seat in half.
Don't you have fatty insurance?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Who's that? Who asked me about fatty insurance?
Nobody. Never mind the guy behind the curtain.
Is that Pominski?
No, he's not here tonight. He had some other business to take care of.
Oh, so then my mic is open then, huh?
It is actually. It's sitting right there.
Yeah.
I was going to put Ruth on it, but she decided to hang out in the comfy chair.
Ruth doesn't want to sit and hang out with you guys. It smells like ass in there, Ruth, doesn't it?
No, actually, it's not so bad tonight. When I got here, it smelled like
Soon.
fish.
We
Thanks
just
to
started
somebody.
drinking.
But
20, 30 minutes. It's gonna
Plenty of
smell
time.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of time for it to smell like ass in here.
Yeah.
Do you realize that one of these fatties snapped my chair in half?
Can't get over it, huh?
I called my mechanic. He came over. He goes, nothing I can do. I go, what do you mean there's nothing I can do? Snapped in half.
So I had a 1976 Oldsmobile Cutlass Salon. That's what I took my road test in. That's what I drove until I was 22 years old. And both of the bucket seats, they're snapped. And I had them propped up with basketballs. So maybe that's one of the options you can explore. Get a fully inflated hard
nothing
basketball.
will look more professional for the
So who's
bang
going to
bus.
sit behind them, dum-dum?
Well, no, I mean, I thought you said it was the back seat.
No, it's the one before the back seat. So which makes it even worse because if you sit in the seat, you go back and you're laying on the lap of the person in the back of the last seat.
Well, make it.
Hey, maybe that's,
That could be a new service there.
There you go.
could be fun.
Who keeps talking in the background?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
When you get here, you get to meet
You
everybody.
haven't even introduced everybody. This is Anthony Graz, host of Limo Talk on Thursday nights because you're not saying it.
Is there anyone that's
You
locked in
came
the trunk
in
right
like
now?
a whirlwind, and there's no time for me to speak or even do introductions. You just come in with karate kicks, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Do we
And
have
broken
beer?
seats.
Do we have beer?
We have
Yes,
beer.
yes, we have
Plenty of
beer.
Is it diet beer?
Yes.
No.
Lots of diet beer.
Nope.
No, it's diet.
Nope.
Yes. Yes.
No, Mike, go fuck yourself. Pete, how's the baby?
Driving me fucking nuts.
Do you need a babysitter and you and your wife can go out and,
Actually, Gina Brinscal took the other two off our hands on Friday, so.
Oh, nice.
I can do that. All right, I'll be in a little while, so tell somebody.
Is there a girl in the trunk you have to drop off first?
Yeah, you have any...
Anyone?
No, I have
No Amber Alerts or...
Here, hold on.
Amber
say
is
it. The word
kids.
sucks. Say it. The word sucks.
The word sucks.
There you go.
Is that your
That's
your
the
youngest?
best disclaimer we've ever had.
Is that your youngest?
That's my youngest. Here's my second.
Did he like the Valentine my daughter gave him?
Oh, wait a minute. Pete's daughter gave you a Valentine. Pete, what's your daughter's name?
Samantha.
Did Samantha give you a Valentine gift for Valentine's? What'd she give you? Ooh, why are you getting all blushy? All right.
I had a good comment, but I didn't want to come off wrong. I had
You
a good
better
one.
shut up. I know what you're going to say.
Do you?
Because you're a dirty bastard.
I had to go to
not.
go to fucking Michael's for the first time looking for that shit. For fucking my daughter had very specific requirements for stickers to put on said Valentine card.
Well, he's very happy, and I thank you, Pete. At least you show some class because you are the talent on the show. You know that, right?
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Here's the word, Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com, 516-465-3990, 516-513-0515. That was Anthony Graz today, host of the Limit Talk podcast here on Thursday nights on GovsRadio.com. I just had to say it out there because otherwise he'd give me more shit when I came in. Like,
So cranky.
yeah, he always this guy, but then he comes in and everyone is just his best friend. So I don't understand how that all works. It works.
So when is Limo Talk on? It's not on after this.
Wednesday afternoons at 3 o'clock.
Actually, is there a show at Wednesday?
Wednesday afternoons, 3 o'clock.
No,
drive time.
give him the tarot reading show.
There's a fucking tarot reading show?
Yeah, Soul Space. Yeah.
Who the fuck listens to that?
A lot of people actually.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when Facebook is for the older people now. So now
I'm so confused.
The young kids are into Snapchat and Instagram, so we stay on the gram.
TikTok, that's a thing, right?
It is a thing. That's even younger now. That's like 10 years old. They'll grow up with that. That'll be their till 15 thing.
Creepy.
Yeah. Well, I want to really kind of finish up with Mark in the initial questioning line. So those initial stages of home brewing brought you to a place where you felt comfortable enough with a recipe to bring it to North Fork. How did that kind of deal transpire? How did that whole relationship start?
That's an interesting one too. And the first brew, which is our flagship brew, the Kolsch, the American Kolsch, that I actually developed over a 2-year period.
Yeah.
That I went back and I threw out a couple of batches of that. Just I just kept on going with it.
Of the Kolsch.
Because I really wanted, there was a certain way I knew I wanted it to be, and it took a while to get that. But yeah, originally I had gone to Bert Fernandez over at Fire Island.
Ah, okay.
And they were going to be contracting for me. And
now
we
they're
had
definitely not.
Now they're not.
Unfortunately.
I had gotten
Dan Moss at the
Dan
time
Moss
too.
was
yeah,
there.
Dan
Dan was our
great.
first guest.
He was our
Dan's
first
great.
brewer guest.
Dan works in my office building now too.
Oh, does he?
We talk all the time.
He's doing the disposable keg thing still?
No, he stopped. He stopped
that.
He's corporate right now, but he's got some things that he's thinking about.
Of course he does. He always got a little something
does.
mixing up. He's one of those guys.
But
on the side.
But yeah, so I was over there at Fire Island, and I had gotten my just before I got the license, there was a couple of things that they just wanted me to tweak. So I got that letter, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. And then I get a call from Dan, and I said, hey Dan, or I called Dan. I said, I haven't heard from anybody. Nobody's calling me back. And he says, yeah, I was going to call
that.
you. Well, so Fire Island kind of went out of business and filing for bankruptcy, blah blah blah. So at that point, it was a hard couple of days where I kind of thought, what the fuck am I going to do now? I got all this way, and now here I am. Everything's just going to fall to shit. It's just going to fall apart, and that's it. What am I going to do? So I said, you know what? Let me reach out to Great South Bay. They're in the same building and everything.
Yeah.
And
they do a lot of contract brewing too.
Yeah, and I talked to them, and great, Greg over there, great guy. We had a great conversation. And when his boss got into the whole thing and got me a quote, it was just astronomical. And plus the size,
you would have a much
barrel,
bigger,
30
much
barrel
bigger
production.
batch.
When you walk in there, those fermenters it's like, fuck, I got to fill that thing.
Yeah. So to me, it just wasn't going to work. And then all of a sudden, I had remembered, and I contacted a couple of other places. They just weren't interested at all. But I had remembered. I had, among everything else that I do, one of the things that I do, I played in a few bands, and I did I put together a show at the Patchwork Theater a few years ago. I recreated the 1988 Monsters of Rock show. So I had a Metallica tribute band, and my Dokken tribute band, my Scorpions tribute band, and a Van Halen tribute band with Sammy Hagar. And it was a great show. And now the director of operations over there at the Patchwork Theater, really great guy. I got to know him while I was planning the whole thing. And he was telling me about his nephew who had just started, who just got everything together for his brewery out in Riverhead, happened to be North Fork. So Pete's uncle is the director over there. So I
Cool.
wrote to Gary and I said, hey, listen, I'm in a little bind here. You think your nephew might be interested in talking to me? He gave me his number, and I talked, and the first thing that Pete said was, I never really gave it a thought of, contract brewing with anybody, but, we have the time. We can probably do this. Hell yeah, let's do it. And the first thing I did was I gave him the recipe of my Kolsch, and he scaled it up to his system. I looked at it, I said, that sounds great. I mean, I wouldn't know if it was right going on, on a much larger scale than I was brewing. But he hit it on the head. I mean, it came out absolutely perfect. His first shot, absolutely perfect to what I had, the last 5 times I brewed it to try and make sure I had that consistency to it. And he hit that right on the head. Him and Ian just did a phenomenal job on that. And we've gone with that since then. It's been great. So we have that, and then also I have an amber, which I brought some of that as well.
Ooh.
It's amber, a little some red notes. It's kind of neat. I call that one Cluster Fug.
So is that the next one you plan on releasing?
We've released that already.
Oh, you have?
It's out there. It's at
canned, or is it just on?
Canned,
Oh, okay, that's
just
on draft. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you get those local establishments on board? Did you have to go out and just indie every single one of them asking for tap space? Is that a difficult process?
Absolutely. Going out with, I was, Peter and Ian had let me use their crowler machine.
Okay.
Filling up crowlers and bringing those out for samples and having bars just pour them out for everybody that was there, and getting people's reactions and everything.
Feedback, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the thing about the blonde was that what I was going for was a regular guy beer that also had the craft flair to it. So. It was, I think the telltale was going after like these. When we'd go to the bars, I'd ask him, please go over to that guy who's drinking a Bud, or this guy that's drinking a Labatt's. Go over there and see what they think.
Love Labatt's Blue.
Love it.
And that was really
better than the
really what we needed to to see. Because the craft beer people had that. They grabbed that mosaic right away that's in it, and they're like, oh yeah, this is great. But the regular guy, and
you're gonna have to pry that.
That's who the craft beer drinker is going to try your stuff because they want to always want to try something new.
Absolutely.
But the guy that's been drinking Bud for 30 years, maybe not so much.
Right.
That's the harder sale.
You have to pry it from his
where the
cold,
growth
dead
is.
hands.
Exactly.
Get off my lawn. Get off my beer. Yeah,
I'm drinking a Diet Bud.
Yeah. Graz would love it. He would drink it right up. I just cracked open Root and Branch, a collab with Hudson Valley Brewery. It's a
that explains why it's a
double.
sour.
It's a double IPA sour, blueberry, and I think
It's
peach.
fucking purple.
It's purple, but it is delicious. It was a little more on the sweet side than I would like it, but it still has an 8% double IPA kick, and I went, wow, okay, I could definitely drink a lot of that.
Tasty.
it's like the starter sour, the fruited deal.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's
Training wheel
not.
sour, but
It's dry.
That's probably right for me.
Yeah, it's jammy. Yeah, it
I have
tastes
trouble
like
with sours.
good raspberry jam, blueberry jam,
thank you
whatever you want to make the.
Nobody
Jamming
gives me
our
the
single.
raspberry.
Sir, they're jamming our singles. I should have one of those drops.
Fucking great movie.
One of those drops on
Fucking great movie.
right? I mean,
so
it's got.
we could probably spend the next few hours just quoting that.
No, absolutely.
God, I love that movie.
We ain't found shit. Do that all
When
day.
will then be now?
Yeah.
Soon. This is now.
You've gone over my helmet.
We have, like I said, we've seen the cans distributed out. Is that also self-distributed? You're also kind of just put them in the car and trying to get them out there?
Absolutely.
Now, are you going to be looking for a brick and mortar, or are you going to stay more contract, nomad kind of thing?
No, eventually. I mean, the reason why we went that way in the beginning is, I wanted to, I really wanted to do this in Kings Park. I grew up in Kings Park. called it Kings Park. So hey, why not? Let's do it in Kings Park. But
well, you wouldn't be the first brewery to open it with a town name and not.
It's true. You're right. No, but I really wanted to do it there.
Long
though,
Beach.
and
I can keep doing them.
but there's no sewers in Kings Park in the in the business district. It's all cesspool. But they got approved this year or late last year to get the sewers in, and
so is that kind of what you're waiting on?
Yeah,
the sewers to go in and then start shopping around for space.
We couldn't do it.
Sure.
It wasn't going to be, we could do it.
But then you'd have someone pumping your fucking
exactly.
cesspool like every week, right?
It would just not be cost effective. It would just be ridiculous.
Would that be something like you'd have to have a pump truck there like every week, every other week, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what the thing was is we'd probably have to have tanks out in the back, and have everything going out into tanks and have those tanks drained, weekly
or monthly or something.
Monthly, at probably weekly or every other week.
That does sound expensive.
It's just not cost effective.
Yeah. Can you drain my tanks this week? There it is.
Somebody had
Way to make
there.
it creepy.
Yes. Hon, I'm going to get my tanks drained. Now, if you say it with an accent, it doesn't sound as bad. You're like, hey, sounds good.
Shitter was full.
There we go. Now we got another one. We got a full 4 hours.
That's a dynamic drop, by the way.
You serious, Clark?
So what do you think? So are you planning on maybe a 1 year, 2 year? What did the town say about those sewers? What do you?
It's
what
looking
are they
like it's
thinking?
going to be a 2-year project.
So with that,
40 years.
40 years. Just like we're going to get a monorail on the LIE, right? Yeah, there we go. Or a bridge over to Connecticut from the 135.
Yeah.
The tunnel, a chunnel. That's what it's going to be, a chunnel.
Oh, God, there is a new project for that, isn't
There
there?
is money on the table somewhere. They're going to do the wind farm, I think, first. That's what it's going to be. The wind farm out on the the ocean, and then they'll figure out how to bury themselves into Connecticut.
The country's largest wind farm, I think, too, isn't it? It's supposed to be like fucking huge.
Yeah,
when
it's
good. Fucking
tremendous.
Do it.
But it's all in the fishing grounds, so the fishing conglomerates hate that idea. The guys from
Are there fishing conglomerates?
I don't know if they're the Freeport guys and all those guys that do charter fishings. It's all in their grounds, so it's gonna be a tough one. So with that, in that time that you're going to be spending kind of hovering and waiting, are you going to continue contracting with North Fork
Absolutely,
and just kind of continue that process?
Keep on going, and
keeping the brand alive and getting people
just
name
pushing
recognition.
it out to wherever. I mean, I'm starting to develop a presence in Manhattan now, so that's
good.
That's where I'm really excited. I think that I can really establish something out there. I'm hoping anyway. Just gonna put a lot of work into it.
So let's talk about just the branding and the name recognition. You have the Kings Park Psychiatric Center as part of the building. So
Building
obviously,
93.
Building 93. There you go. So obviously, you're taking on some of that historical reference of what Kings Park was known for.
Right.
So are you going to try to develop names and styles with names that relate to that, like Psycho Porter, or
bipolar, double
honestly,
IPA?
Yeah, I mean,
electrolysis
a lot of people,
IPA.
A lot of people said that I should, and I had a bartender tell me that you should come up with you should do an IPA called oh God, I don't even
Shock
remember
treatment.
Now. It was something crazy, something about
I could do this
house,
all day.
whatever. But
I got it.
In any case,
Lobotomy Lambic.
There you go.
There it is.
Peanut butter nut house porter.
Ooh,
you go.
The nut house.
Yeah, the things for me, and as I'm a little out there. I'm a little bit of a jackass actually. But the one thing that I really don't like to really hit the mentally ill community.
No, of course
knock
not.
them down because they got enough work against them as it is.
They got enough obstacles in their way that they don't need you kind of doubling down on their
right. But the building there, it's an iconic building.
It is.
That was the building that is it was this majestic building. It's been in so many pictures and everything, and people come from all around to see that. And I said, it's part of Kings Park's history. And I got a little blowback from some people. I had some people yelling at me on Facebook, You know,
Really? On social media?
Yeah, right? Go figure.
Can't imagine.
And I wasn't even talking about politics. Yeah, no, I mean, I got the, how could you do that? There's so many other nice things in Kings Park.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but you know what?
Not
Somebody
until my
in
brewery
Ohio-
opens, there isn't.
Some schlep in Ohio is not saying, oh, wow, the Kings Park Bluff, yeah. Wow. Oh, that deli. I remember that deli. People know that, know
Sure.
the Psych Center. It's, I mean, there's a lot of websites dedicated to, to stuff like that.
There's a couple of YouTubers that, of course, do the abandoned walkthroughs, and they have drones and they have all that other cool stuff. So some of them are really well done, and they explore the history and they talk about what each thing and the purpose of, and the building history, and how it impacted Long Island, which is a big deal. And even Pilgrim State, same concept. I mean, both of those were some of the biggest psychiatric centers in the country at one point. Drawing in, and having their own power plants, for Christ's sake. That's how much, people they had there, workers they had there, buildings and power that they drew. Amazing places, and it can be seen from the sound, correct? If you're on the sound, you could still see the building rising from the,
yes, you can.
We'll say the tree line. It's one of those. I remember, and I'll go back to high school, 1997, where I went up there on a Halloween night. We did two things. We did the old abandoned St. Anthony's on the track. We did the quarter mile on the track, and then we went over to the Pilgrim Psych Center and skated in under a full moon. Very cool concept. It wasn't scary. I'm not that kind of person that gets scared. But on Halloween and a full moon at a psychiatric center, every single flag is raised.
Oh yeah.
But there was 1 million people there. It was almost like a party. So, and then back then it wasn't as I don't want to say it wasn't as abandoned. It was very abandoned. It was still very abandoned. There was lots of levels of abandonment.
She was only a little pregnant.
No, just a mild pregnancy. That's it, just mild. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those places that sticks out in my mind. It'll always be there. It would be ingrained in my memory as one of the things that I did growing up, that I think many kids do growing up, just to get that experience and have it buried back there. And that's all they need. I mean, do I need to go break windows and climb tall towers? No, but just the mere fact that you kind of are part of a history and you look back at it, it's a very cool concept. And so the logo then represents that as well. So if anyone hasn't seen it, it's the Psychiatric Center. I know it's going to be hard to see on the camera that way. But you can go on to the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and look that up as well. And stickers, look at that.
There we go.
Sticker for your notebook?
Yes, there you go. And of course, the KPBC. What?
I use these
What
for
were
my
you gonna
tap
say?
I said
handles
it's in
as well.
color.
It's in color. Yeah. Why? Ours are in color?
No, the.
Oh, yeah.
So I use these actually for my tap handles too. I make my own tap.
Oh, there you go.
handles.
Yeah.
And so I keep that at the top, and I use I just throw chalkboard paint on it, and they could write whatever
Whatever style there is.
So
keep it easy so you can keep redistributing the same handles.
Absolutely.
And change up the styles when you need to. Let's take a quick break. We're a little ways in.
Time.
Yeah, it's about that time. And then we'll come back. I'm going to talk to Ralph and Chris with Ambassador Studios. I love New Jersey beer. You know me. And of course, we got to try Mark's beer too.
Yes.
And actually, I'm gonna. But I'll pretend like I did. Okay, so this is where Mike and Pete comes.
I think everyone still heard you.
No, they did not. When I whisper, no one hears me. This is the word Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. We'll be right back right after this.
Govs Radio.
This is the Wort on Govs Radio. This is Govs Radio, and you're getting drunk with Mike and Pete on the Wort.
Hey-oh, this is the word Mike and Pete, GovsRadio.com. We are live here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, Long Island. Give us a call, 516-465-3990, 516-513-0515 to join the party. We are here with Mark from Kings Park Brewing Co, KPBC. Try saying that a lot. I won't be able to say it later after a few more beers. We're here with Ralph and Chris and Ruth from Ambassador Studios, and of course their movie, we'll just say your project in Hops We Trust. I like the project. We'll start with there, and we'll see where that goes, right? And we just cracked open some of the Harrison's Blonde. So why don't you run us down on a little bit of this? Don't give any secrets away, but we're all going to have a little sip, and
Well,
Someone loves a blonde. He's like, give me the can. Give me the can. Should we save some for?
I
No,
thought you were
I had
I'm
some.
sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going for yourself.
Oh no.
You're like, let me see what more of this is. So, Mark, run us down on this this Kolsch style blonde ale.
Right. So, I wanted to do a Kolsch really for the for that flagship beer because I wanted it to be, I wanted to, like I said before, I wanted it to be like that something that could pass for the regular beer drinking guy, and it's the closest thing to a Pilsner lager that you can get, and I just said, let me do that and kind of, craftify it, if you will, And so I boosted up the ABV because that's what we do in America. And
what's it pushing now?
It's 5.5.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And dry hopped it with some Mosaic and off to the races. Everything else is, traditional, German noble, and I tried to really kind of capture that. Like, if you didn't have the dry hop of the Mosaic, it would be even clearer than it is, and it would be a little more tame. But the idea was just to try and bridge that gap between the two. So
easy drinking, bright, clean.
And, it's as I'll go back to North Fork. The first thing that when we poured the first one over at North Fork last January, and first thing Pete said was, he's like, "God damn, this thing is crushable."
Yeah.
And so it's that's kind of my
there it is.
That's been my go-to. So I mean, it's been doing well. It's got some legs to it, and I'm hoping that it'll stay around for a while.
It's got a very smooth mouthfeel too. I'm not a reviewer of beers, and I use the word mouthfeel like I have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. But it does. Like, there's just that little smoothness as opposed to, let's say you have a Bud, right? It's just sharp. It's sharp from the start, sharp to the end. This has that small little bite, but like what's there on the tongue is nice and smooth. So I think that's part of that dry hopping that really kind of brings out a little more of the flavors of the the pills and the stuff that you're kind of using for your base ingredients. Have you done any variations of this beer?
Well, like I said, I did over a 2-year period. I must have brewed it about probably 20 times.
Wow.
Just
trying to perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of times where I had just way too much Mosaic in it at the end, and really turned it into almost like an IPA.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that, And there's still some people that taste a little bit of bitter from the Mosaic. And
I get it a little bit, but I wouldn't even classify that as an IPA.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't come across.
But
that
and that's
way
why but by doing that, it's no longer a Kolsch.
Right.
So I said, okay, it's an American Kolsch, and
good point.
Because I mean, the rest of it is, that's where it came from.
Correct.
And we just
added
a little flair to it, So,
and being the variation that you needed to kind of make it your own.
Yeah.
Not too many people out there doing Kolsch style beers. So what other, besides the amber that you said that you're working on, what are some of those other beers that you're going to work into that you're thinking of for styles?
Well, right now, I actually this weekend I'm going to be doing a pilot for what may be the this summer's. We're going to do like a one-off edition this summer, and maybe do it again at some point. But continue to do the other two, but then just throw this in there. But it's a Belgian Strong.
Ooh,
nice
Belgian blonde Strong.
Sold.
And Mark from Hopscotch is going to lose his shit. So the first place you go when you have that kegged is you go to Mark from Hopscotch because he loves his Belgian Strongs.
Nice.
It's one of his favorite styles.
Light or dark? I assume for summer light.
It'll be a light one. I found one of the things that I found with the amber, the cluster fug, was a lot of places shied away from it over the summer because they said people don't drink dark beers in the summer. I do. I know a lot of people that do, and it's not dark.
Yeah, amber's not dark. I mean,
but they are looking out for their business, their clientele, so they
Of
kind of
course.
know what goes in and out during the summer period. The Coronas, the White Claws, Trulies.
There's no laws when you're drinking claws.
That's true.
That's what I heard.
Jesus Christ. How many of those things are there about?
Too many.
Mark, would you ever brew a hard seltzer?
Ooh,
And he wasn't hesitating on purpose. He had a mouthful of beer.
Yes. It wasn't truly a skip step.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's very, very, like Pete said, very crushable.
Simple.
I would like some more, please. Some more, please. I was mentioning Mark from Hopscotch, and for everyone that's watching, this is the reason why the guys from Ambassador Studios in Hops We Trust are here. Mark from Hopscotch actually got us on some sort of conference email, if you'd like to say that, and said, you should really talk to them. I'm sure he talked to you and said you should talk to them. And I said, yeah, why not? To have them on. We originally had a really crazy night packed and planned, but I thought that wasn't done, but that's okay. Thank you.
That's all right.
We'll keep cracking them.
We have lots to drink tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Clearly.
Nassau County Police, go the other way.
Yeah. They don't watch. They don't watch, I promise. Ruth, actually, no, do me a favor. Grab this mic here. That way you can have a little something to say while we go through this one here. Hi.
Hi.
There she is. And then I could, I'm still, God damn it. You know what? I just did that whole segment with the logo on, but I'll fix that later.
No one wants to watch it.
I'll fix it in post. It's okay. No, it's okay. And now I wanted to put Ruth on. I always forget to change the logos on the live stream, but it's fine. I'm not.
No one wants to look at us anyway.
That's true. Really, nobody does. And anyone it's really just going to see Chris over there. That's pretty much it. There's Ruth. Say hi.
Hey.
Such a handsome man, so it's fine.
It's all about the hat and the beard.
So you guys, I want to know how you got in touch with Mark and what you guys are doing kind of cross paths with him. And then we'll get into kind of what you guys are doing. So start with that. I just didn't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
Every time I asked him, he's like, I don't know. I just had and that he gave me that weird remark, like Mark answer. Which is not a bad thing.
Isn't that how we got Jeff Sadden from Ocean Hill on here?
Was
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
how do we? Yeah. How do we
that
get
happen?
some people on
Sure.
the show? I don't know. It was just
I'm not
randomness.
sure how we got on here either. To be
I just used Instagram.
I don't even know.
Get here right now.
So Ruth actually can give you the background story on that. So
Remotely.
yeah, I mean, I think you contacted him through Instagram, right? Is that?
Well, so I've been running the Instagram for In Hops since October.
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of my strategy is I'm a bartender and a server also. So I'm awake at 2 a.m. trying to go to sleep. We just add people on Instagram. Let's see what happens. And I probably was just scrolling through, looking through, and I was like, oh, that seems cool. Added them. And next thing you know, I get a message on Instagram. Was like, hey, you guys in New York? Let's chat. So
That's because Mark is up at 2 a.m. with his baby.
Yeah,
Probably.
there you go.
He makes posts and does live stuff before I'm even out of bed.
Dude, I get up with the dog, and I get it you've been tagged in a post, and I'm like, of course it's Mark.
Of course it's Mark.
That's 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
What else is he doing?
But yeah, it started with hey, let's chat. I sent him my email, and here we are.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
He didn't have an answer for me that well, so that's a better answer than
I
he
had to do the research on the fly,
right.
so
Well, when we started out, when we our first month, same thing. I went on Instagram, and I think we added something like 1,300 people to the watch list. Just anything with a keyword of hops or beer or brew or brewery or it was crazy. And then I slowly started to unfollow as they didn't follow me. So that was I've learned that by going online and figuring out how to kind of start up with the followers. Now today, all of our followers are pretty much 100% legit. We just hit the 2K mark, thank God, because I felt like, well, it's nothing compared to the online beer whores who got.
We just hit 900 and we can't, we're losing our shit. We're
Yeah.
so excited, you know what I mean? Really 900!
When we hit 1K, we're throwing a party.
A small party.
Yeah. For only about
my
less
number
than...
is on there.
I just, Instagram's a weird place. It's great. Social media is great networking, and I'm sure that helps you for what you guys are trying to put together. Tell us how this all came about. Tell us, how you're making those connections, and what's the end game here? Are we? Because I know I said before we're looking for a film, but are we looking for a film? Or are we just looking for a series where we're doing kind of like the brewery tour, behind the scenes? Like, what's the thought process here?
I can kind of give a little bit
or
of
where
history.
did it start? Yeah.
Yeah, I can give a little bit of history about it. So, we all kind of worked in a little bit of different background in production. Ambassador Studios has 3 different divisions: media division, event production, and digital development.
Okay.
So we've all kind of worked events together. We worked some media production stuff together.
So it's just like a multimedia company that kind of does anything it can. Right.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different things going on. So Ruth and I were talking one time, clearly because we're all craft beer enthusiasts. And she said, wouldn't it be fun for, the company, let's maybe put together a beer tour and kind of that culminates maybe at a big festival at the end or something like that. Maybe something to kind of get into, the craft beer scene in the industry.
Right.
So we originally kind of started thinking about it more from an event side than we did from a media production side. The more and more we started looking into it, we're like, okay, the logistics of this are going to be really difficult. The insurance was going to be astronomical. They basically have to become a tour company and all these other things.
Yuck.
We're like, no, we're not, that's not something we're adding to the quiver.
Yeah.
Of the company. We're not going to do that. So we had all done media production and a lot of corporate talking head videos, some music videos and stuff like that. So maybe let's try to see if these breweries are interested in maybe doing a documentary. We were based in New Jersey. We thought, let's try to hit New Jersey breweries and we'll do a New Jersey documentary. And it's just evolved into something completely different. So it's basically what it is now. Is a web series because of the number of breweries that have contacted us.
Okay.
So we've basically already signed 8
There are
breweries.
a few of them out there.
There's a lot. Well, this is the funny thing is it started in New Jersey, and within a matter of basically a month and a half, we already had our first brewery signed in Tennessee.
Wow.
So it was like, okay, we're really only focusing in New Jersey and kind of
Jesus
Northeast.
Christ.
Hey,
Welcome.
yeah, don't worry. No one's on the fucking air in here. Feel free to slam all the goddamn doors.
I'm going to assume that's the angry
What
limo
the
guy.
fuck?
Well, we have to address
I didn't
him.
know it was going to slam.
He is embarrassed by it. He's laughing. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Who knew the metal door would make so much noise when I threw it?
Did I interrupt the one that was making fun of me before when I
God,
called?
No, you didn't.
All right,
Zero purpose served.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Good call.
Fuck you, Pete. I'm sorry.
Holy shit.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Are you sure?
Fucking Braz coming in hot.
Shooting out 2 a.m. DMs like that. There's Anthony Graz today. What is this? Bring some champagne. Don't shake that and pop that in here.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, then, buddy, Ralph.
We're
I'm Mark.
we're
Hey,
live.
Mark. How are
Good to
you?
meet
Nice
you,
to
man.
meet you.
Hi, buddy.
What is that?
What's this?
baby.
Oh, you
Now,
sweetheart.
second bottle I gave you. I think
I
it's
know.
an $8.99
Bubbles.
bottle, but
Now that's for the baby.
Yes,
That's for the baby.
For the
You put the
baby.
nipple right on the top.
There we go.
Get a whole bunch of mums.
Mommy want a yellow tail?
congratulations. Am I on, Mike?
Yes, you're on, buddy.
First one, right? Meet the parents.
Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself now.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations, Pete.
Thank you.
All right? We got to go out and get drunk.
We're
sooner
out.
the better.
We're out now.
Stay here.
We're here now.
This is out for
This is the out.
This is like a fucking sausage fest.
No,
Ruth
it's
is the last
Say
girl we
it.
had. Who was the last girl before Ruth?
This
that
is
we had?
this is the only one that's not a sausage
You,
fest.
That's a good point.
you
like
asked
you
me
picked-
3 weeks ago to wear a wig and a thong. I
Had
can
nothing to do with the show.
I don't mean to take over the show.
Yep.
But, Mike, I got to ask you something.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
If I give up my highly rated show,
Yeah.
Limo Talk on Govs Radio.
Why are you going to give it up?
I
because
heard
think
Wednesday
that-
afternoons at 3 o'clock.
No,
right?
it's Thursdays at 9:45. So,
That's right.
Mike, I would like to be the roving reporter for Mike and Pete.
Roving report. Okay.
Yeah, for Mike and Pete, or better yet, Pete and the penis. Can I be your roving reporter? I will give up everything.
I don't know what that means though. What is
I
a
want to be
roving
like
reporter?
Jimmy Kimmel with Guillermo.
Define highly rated.
I want to go to Kings Park, go
don't.
visit with Mark, and I want to go, Mark, which one of your beers smell like ass?
Yes. So
I have an idea, though.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So we get the limo.
Yeah.
We get the camera crew. You do the show in
He's
the
got a
limo.
limo.
We got a bus.
I like that. Yeah,
We got
bang
21
bus.
With a broken seat.
With the broken seat.
Well, it's
Yeah.
20. It's a
Broken
21
seat.
passenger, but today it's a 20
passenger
passenger because
bus.
somebody at Hopscotch has got a fucking 400-pound fat ass.
I didn't see anyone in those pictures.
Oh, that's got to be
was heavy.
Greg, that guy that does the fucking
Hey,
mix.
Greg didn't go.
He didn't go?
No.
Well, I'll tell you something.
You didn't see pictures of your own event?
He snapped it like a twig. It was like a twig. My mechanic looks at me and goes, wow, this must have been some fat guy.
Good one. Thanks, mechanic. Appreciate that.
So, where's my beer?
Well, it's over here, but can you wait a second? Can we finish up what I was
No, let
talking
him
about?
slam the door again.
Yeah, do me a favor.
Yeah, come back in here.
I need 3 slam doors before you get your sips.
Mark, I'm sorry. Were you talking when I slammed the door?
No, he was not.
No, I was
No,
not.
Chris.
Continue.
Chris.
I'll just
Well, when I'm talking later, you slam the door again because I deserve that. Like I said before, I'm an asshole. I'm a jackass.
We're going to follow each other on Instagram. That's
Here we go.
Oh,
Here comes
boy.
the Insta whore. How come you don't have like 8K followers?
On Instagram.
I have
does he?
421
He should.
followers.
Well, he should.
Speaking
Go
of the
to
microphone,
Ambassador Studios and go to In Hops We Trust and follow them, and they'll follow you back.
In Hops We Trust?
Yes.
In Hops We Trust.
All right, I'm going to turn you off for a second so
There's
you
a guy in
can.
these photos that looks like Al Franken.
Jesus Christ! Is that the picture? Yeah.
That's where he's been.
No, there's no one that big there. I mean, look at this picture.
That's I was trying to look, and the only guy looks like he has
Mike-
tattoo sleeves.
Is that Victor? Is Victor there? Did Victor go?
Who's Victor?
Is that Victor? Mark's uncle?
Isn't that his father-in-law?
No,
that's
that's
his
Mark's
dad.
uncle.
I don't know.
No, he's maybe not. I don't know. Maybe
I can't
one
keep
was
all the
bigger than
family
the other.
relations.
Mike, is
Mark
it web
Straight.
series focused on craft beer popularity?
That
We were just talking about it.
The stories of the people who bring us the fine stories of fine libations and the regional differences state to state.
Right.
There you go.
InHopsWeTrustFilm.com.
There you
Nailed
go.
it.
See?
Why don't you guys come on the bus and we do that? I would enjoy
Well,
that very
that
much.
would be a
let me
fun-
get to the
No, he
the
needs
collaboration.
to come to Jersey
They
and do a
also-
tour around for us.
Yes, I
They
agree
also have another company, a sister company, where they build bus seats.
Fabrication company. Yeah,
We do actually
I mean, you wouldn't believe the synergy.
That'd be unbelievable. Plastic molds.
I got the
beautiful.
InHops We Trust. What was the other Instagram?
Ambassador Studios.
Ambassador Studio.
And then Kings Park Brewing Company and Marco.
We don't wanna
take care of
follow
that.
him.
Yeah. Chris, you were saying you guys have a lot of people coming up.
We weren't following them.
Who?
Us. You know, Hops
Weren't
We
following
Trust.
Oh, thanks.
Oh no, I was following Ambassador. I wasn't maybe at
Close
the end.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A whole bunch of the breweries have signed up. So you said what was the most recent one that was just
so we just signed Elementary.
Elementary and
Elementary, yeah.
Hackensack.
Yep. But we're getting ready to go to Tennessee. We're filming at a couple of breweries in Tennessee.
That's what that's where we left
so
off. Okay.
we've already made one trip down there. We filmed at the Winter Warmer Fest, which was
Oh my God,
oh
so
my
much
God,
fun.
it was a lot of fun.
That's the hoodie, yeah.
Yeah,
Are we making money doing this?
Not yet.
Come on now. We got to get like a big sponsor like the XFL or something like that.
Hey,
Yes.
look, we would love to have the
Oh my
XFL.
God.
We posted about them the other day. It was hilarious.
Vince, I love you.
By the way, now that there's the New York Guardians, has anybody else had fun with this yet? By the way, the New York Guardians, yet another New York team playing in New Jersey.
Another
Yep.
shitty.
Are they really?
Yeah.
New Jersey.
But at least with the XFL, though, there's only one team in New York to unify New York and New Jersey.
That's right. The one team that everyone
one
can say
team to
really does
really
suck.
sucks. But it
All
can
agree with it.
unify New York
Quarterback's
and
the
New
worst
Jersey.
quarterback in the league. He's fucking terrible.
I
He
saw
was
him
on
throw the ball into
sidelines.
the 20th row.
He basically gave up his coaching. He gave up his coach in the first game and basically said there was no game plan at all.
Welcome to the XFL. Get Opie and Anthony back out there to chase the football down on the.
That was fun.
That was actually I watched it.
But they were
then.
getting no ratings, and they're getting
No.
ratings now.
Well, that's
They
because
did 1.9 and 1.5.
they're trying to make it more like football. When everyone was dying for football after the Super Bowl, it's kind of like their chaser. We'll say it's basically a chaser of football or sports in between. The end of the regular football season and the start of a real baseball season. It's a tough gap to fill. However, I'm a college basketball fan, and I love this time. It's my favorite time. I'm a hockey fan, love this time, and I do like the NBA a little bit. So it's actually fun to watch sports during this time of year. And even though spring training is actually...
Cespedes is cranking out home runs.
He didn't crank out any. It was Ramos today that hit one.
All I can tell you is right now, my balls are so big. I'm telling you, they're taking the East.
Who?
They are taking the East. The Mets.
The Mets?
Oh, the Mets are taking the East.
Here we go.
Can I have a beer, please?
What does the Mets have to do with your balls? I'm just...
It's not the Mets. He was sitting on that post that's left from the seat. He's a little swollen today.
Boy, Mark's just jumping right in, huh?
Pushing
He's got
pushing
my,
on the taint.
Mark, when I show up at Kings Park like half in a bag, you better not kick me out.
No, we
You
will.
can stay over.
We got a cot set up for you here at the Kings Park Brewing Co. It's that building right there.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah. He's not. Don't let him take that.
I'm not.
I did it away. What do you guys have doubles of that you can give this gentleman to go into? I don't know what you have multiple of.
Oh, that one.
Oh, okay. Good selection.
Thank you. Can I have the glass?
No, the glass right
take
there.
the fucking taster glass like everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, that glass was not for you.
Are we having the same beer that he's having?
We probably should.
All right, let me get
Yeah, we probably should.
Peach King.
Yes, sure. And so you guys, you've been to a bunch of. Wow, that's sticky.
What was?
I don't
Why
know.
is it sticky?
I don't know.
It's a peach
What
ale.
other kind of shows are in here?
I think the limo show was in here.
No, the limo show don't break nothing. Trust
I'm
me.
just leaving it off. No, they don't. It's time and age. That's what it comes. No, it's not broken. It's just
Me
it's
and
all right.
Mike have been together for 4 years. Our anniversary is March 6th. That we've been doing shows here for 4 years.
He took me behind the middle school and
year
got me
4
pregnant.
like paper? Is it tin?
Wait a minute. What did I do to you?
You took me behind the middle school.
Yes,
and
I
got me
did,
pregnant.
and I enjoyed it.
I know.
Yeah, but Mike was my producer, Mark.
Okay.
And then I asked to be a regular on this show. He told me no.
Nope.
So.
And that's why I'm here.
And that's why Pete's here.
Mark, I go, Mike, you should do a beer show. It's going to be the greatest. I go, I'll be your co-host. He goes, nope.
Because I'll be honest with you. So this is the deal. We've now converted him to craft beer. He was coming in with 38 6-ounce crowler of Michelob Ultra and Coors Light to his show, and I started bringing in local craft beer to his show as I was board opping or producing or whatever I was doing, and it started to catch on a little bit, and it got through the whole studio to the point where now.
We all drink craft. We all drink craft.
We all drink it. Well, I've always drank.
Oh, I do.
As far as I can remember back.
I do.
But,
Inns does.
and
Richie
all the
does.
guys that were on there, and not only that, now you've taken your business into that, in that he has the limo business, and now he's doing bus tours to craft beer places
With hopscotch.
To hopscotch.
There you go.
So he does. The first one he did was Other Half.
Yeah, Trillium. Not other half. It was the ones in
Threes?
Brooklyn.
Threes. No.
I'll find it.
Interborough.
Interborough.
I'm just naming breweries that
Transmitter?
are
I'm
west of
gonna find
Nassau
it.
County.
But we did
Pretty
must.
good. So many goddamn breweries right in that area.
West of Nassau County, east of
But
Manhattan.
the big sales pitch was the Other Half that got those, and now the one they just did this past weekend,
Long Island,
Yep.
North Fork,
Yep.
and Mustache.
and there you go, and that's
which they said
kinda-
was fantastic. So
Yeah,
now he wants me
it's a
to
great
go
one.
into Queens.
Okay.
So I guess people are clamoring for Queens.
Yes.
So what I do, Mark, is I have 21 passengers. Well, 20 right now because some
20.
fatty broke my seat.
20.
But I
Should
try.
notice that he keeps talking to me.
Yes,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I like
it's
you.
just you.
Just
Yeah.
you. Because I don't really. I remember Chris's name and I don't remember the other guy's name.
Ralph.
Ralph. But I remember Ruth.
Of course you do.
So they want to go to Queens.
Sorry, you're on now. I didn't have you
And
on
I-
before.
and
I know
I-
you
and
picked your
I,
mic back up.
I think we're probably going to go to Fifth Hammer.
Yeah, good idea.
And I'm actually going to ask you. He's going to choose one, and I'm going to ask you to choose.
We'll talk
one.
later.
All right. I'll find where we went. Come
So
on.
you guys,
When you go to Fifth Hammer, I would recommend not choosing the hottest day of the year.
101-degree day, we decided to do a live podcast in the brew house
with me
on
there.
the hottest day of the year. Yeah, you were there.
I'd had
Everyone
a fan
showed
blowing
up.
directly up my shorts.
All of our friends showed up. It's true.
Just gonna
It's true.
sweat this
To
off.
Ah, that
to be able
cool
to
breeze.
peel our sacks off the chair as we got up, and we actually hung out.
Were they
in
leather
Milwaukee.
chairs?
No, it was like these shitty metal folding chairs I brought.
Yep. Yeah.
But they
Oh,
weren't
that's
broken
great. Why don't you
chairs.
talk right about it? Now, we'll never be invited back to Fifth Hammer because they got shitty chairs.
And Mark
No,
got
it was
fired.
the shitty chairs I bought.
Oh, Mark got fired?
Yeah, Archambault got fired from there.
Get fired, or
I think he got either let go or fired. Who knows?
well, let's not talk about it on air. Then.
No, he's fine. I already talked to him. I said, "What's
And
the
it's
next?"
Matt.
What did I say?
Mark.
Did I say Mark?
Yes.
Oh, I meant Matt. I meant Matt. I talked to him on my phone all the time.
Mark, the new host. Wait, Mark,
Too many
the new
Marks.
host.
Mark from
Mark,
Hopscotch.
the new
Mark from
host of
Kings
the
Park.
Wort with Mike
Six
and Mark.
Harbors.
With Mike and
There are
Mark.
a lot of Marks.
Yeah,
We went to Grimm, Interborough, and Other Half.
Grim. That's what it was. What a great stop. So you guys have this amazing scene down in New Jersey that we've experienced. We went to, and we're going back to the AC Beer Fest. So you guys heading
We
to.
may get there.
By
I
May,
know.
she means we'll be going.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll be there.
Cross my fingers. No hospitalizations right before another.
No, yeah.
Festival.
Pete ended up not going because his wife went to the hospital like the night before.
And again, another festival, like same thing, like 6 months later, another festival, she happened to go to the hospital.
Hexer State Park Festival,
Goddamn
that one.
wife
Yep.
and her problem.
What are you going to do? You can't blame her. It's not her fault. She didn't cause the problem. It wasn't self-inflicted.
I don't know. Was it?
Yeah. Anyway.
You sure it's yours?
I mean, what we...
I asked him.
I mean...
I'm going to have to do one of these for that one.
Came from the left side.
Where's the shots fired? What number is it? This one? Nope. Nope.
That makes it more awkward.
No.
The kid didn't come out looking like Kobe Bryant or anything, did he?
No, right after the helicopter. Come on.
Oh,
Too soon.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean the Kobe Bryant in the helicopter. But put that on again. That's radio gold.
No. No way. I am not going to be the one that's on News 12 talking bad about
Podcast
Kobe
host making
First
fun
it
of
was
Kobe.
Ari Shafir. Now it's this asshole
Yeah.
Michael Toole.
Who's this fucking dickhead? Who owns a government job and we're paying to do this shit? All right, anyway.
Next week's guest, UC Smooth.
I'll take JB Smooth before I take that. So when we went down to AC Beer Fest, we were first. I knew there was some good scenes. I knew of Icarus. I have some family that lives in Brick, so I said, "All right, cool." I loved everything that it kind of reminded me of what Sin City is up here, or Barrier did here, but kind of even better. I'll be honest. Floored by their styles and the amount of beer to go and just the whole scene there. So we went to AC Beer Fest and we spoke and talked to all these brand new people that we've never even heard of. Amazing how all the stories were different. Backwards Flag, Eighth and Sand, and what are you looking up more? Icarus stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go
in
there,
touch
by the
with
way.
Shane.
What's that?
We're in touch with Shane, I guess.
Oh, at 8th and Sand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at Icarus.
Icarus, okay, good,
And
yeah.
like back and forth, so we're trying to get that.
Yeah, I
scheduled
mean,
with them, too.
even since last year, they've gotten even bigger.
Bigger,
I mean, it's just growing like crazy.
growing,
It's
yeah.
one of those go-to places.
Mhm.
I think Selling Crayons did it, but that's just me. There's a whole bunch of other ones. We had Dark City on. We had what's the one that had all the traditional colonial things? I can't think of it. A ton of those guys, and almost everything that came up to us and what we saw was delicious. So we know that scene is alive. I would assume that you guys have plenty of stuff to film, just like we have plenty of people to interview here on Long Island. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, like the outpour of breweries that want the exposure and the stamp almost, right? I think some of the ones here want our stamp, but not that we have much clout. But same thing. I mean, it's almost like a nice visual promotion for them. Who else is coming forward to really be part of this?
Well, the reason why it's so easy to find, breweries to get involved with all this is because it's such a booming industry.
Yeah.
And the people, you guys know this because you've been doing this show for, since the beginning of 2018, something like that?
Yeah, a little over 2 years now.
Not as long as mine.
So the characters you meet, including the gentleman in the booth
Yes.
back here,
I mean,
they're wild. They're
we
crazy.
pick them up along the way.
Exactly.
Like hitchhikers.
You can't get rid of me now, Chris.
Like a moth to the flame, they're drawn to you.
We've tried to leave him behind. He just finds his Uber way
He won't
back.
even invite me to AC. I'm not even invited to any of the beer fest. I'm like the third string. If Pete don't go, he asks Nicky Nux. Right?
No, I mean I invited people that have
That he
something
liked.
for us and that I like. No, I basically this is a little inside baseball, but Nicky Nux is getting married.
Ooh!
And this is kind of turning into a little bit of a bachelor party.
When are we going?
It's April 3rd and 4th.
Oh, AC Beer Fest?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, it's one I wasn't invited to.
Right.
We'll be there with cameras.
Awkward.
Chris,
Steve's going.
Chris, you want to hear?
So, yeah.
Chris, you want to hear awkward? All right, so Pete's having his baby, right? So Mike turns to me in fucking November. All right, Graz, looks like February. You're going to come on and co-host a couple of shows with me, right? I walk in one day. Steve Pominski's sitting next to him from Barrage. He goes, oh, by the way, Steve, make sure that you're here to be the co-host for the Wort while Pete's out. I go, what the fuck happened to me? He goes, he could just go in your box. That's what he turned to.
Why wouldn't I want to have an experienced brewer as being another co-host?
Because you got more laughs the minute I fucking slammed the door than you get for 3 hours with Steve Paminsky.
He's pretty fucking funny.
You gotta put a couple of drinks in him, drink himself a personality.
Nope.
All right.
All right. Go
Steve,
back
I'm
and
just
listen
kidding.
to episode
Just
6
kidding,
or
Steve.
7, and you'll see Steve in all of his glory. But that's the point. I mean, we had I had myself, Pete, it might be, and let's just check if it is. This is the Word Mike at PeteGhostRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
This is Christian.
Hey,
Thad
Christian.
from the Beer Nonsense Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing great.
Right on time. I'm gonna. Excuse me. Have you been listening to the show? Did you hear Graz come in and Tasmanian Devil the show?
Yeah, we've heard a few. Unfortunately, my phone's been skipping.
It's not that bad. Trust me.
It's worse. You're right.
Yeah, it's exactly worse. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for calling in. So you guys are part of the Hopped Up Network, just like we are. So I want to get you on, and this is the reason why we kind of made this connection. How long have you guys been with the Hopped Up Network?
Actually, we just applied. We're into our 26th episode, but we've been doing what's called Michiana Beer Reviewers for 2.5 years.
That's right. And you guys have been in South Bend, correct?
That's correct. That's where we're based out of South Bend, Indiana.
So have you guys been over? I have.
I hope Notre Dame loses by 20 tomorrow.
You're playing. It's
I hope
not
they
the
get
college
fucking crushed.
football
I hope they
season.
get crushed. The line.
Oh, you mean the college basketball?
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball. Yes. I hope the Fighting Irish ladies.
by 20 every game, so it doesn't matter.
That's terrible. So you guys have experienced some really great breweries by you. Give us a little lowdown about the scene and what's going on around your parts.
Well, we have an ever-growing scene around here. When we started 2 years ago, there was basically about 3 breweries around, and now we have a lot of hidden gems from tiny little mapped-out towns like Leesburg, where we got Hoplower, and right in our heart of our downtown, we have 2 breweries that we love. The South Bend Brew Works and Studebaker Brewing Company, which is based out of the mansion where Studebaker carves.
Studebaker!
Yeah.
Rowan
so
Gardner. Gardenhosen.
Gardenhosen.
There you go. I love Studebakers. Those were some classic cars that you saw just kind of rolling down the street. Like, what's that? And Mom's like, yeah, it's a Studebaker.
Yeah,
I can't relate.
Mom smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Mom smoked a lot of pot, too.
Yeah. Studebaker.
Did you get tested when you were a baby? Because Mom
Yes,
smoked a
I
lot
did.
of pot, too.
Speaking of which, I just
You only
did,
got dropped a couple times.
I did 23andMe. That's an interesting one.
And now
is
that
that
Jeff
pot?
Bezos has your DNA, what do you think he's going to do with it?
Not spend it on me.
Is pot legal in South Bend yet?
No.
Okay,
No,
mail me
Indiana,
some if you got it.
Everywhere around us but Indiana.
Right.
That's,
Well,
We're not
I
the
mean,
pass-through state anymore.
well, that might
Everybody
be
avoids us now.
That might be true. So, I mean, since you guys have been doing this for 2 years or so, what have you experienced? What have you seen in the scene that has really kind of caught your eye and got you? I guess I want to say, what did you really go for as part of your show? How did you connect the two between doing your show and getting those breweries and getting everything up and running and going to the point where you're at where you are now?
I think it's just connecting with the community, one, and basically just talking crap. I mean, it's beer nonsense, and the whole nonsense part is just being able to be
That's
with
the
your
easy
friends
part.
over a bunch of beers.
Yeah,
It
the
is.
nonsense is the easy
nonsense part is
What's
what
the name
makes
of
our
the
show
show on
4
Instagram?
hours. It is the MBR Beer Podcast. So
That's our hashtag. It's actually beer and nonsense brewed by the Michiana Beer Reviewers.
right. Which he's just looking for you on Instagram because he's an Instagram whore and just wants friends.
Beardandnonsense.com.
Mm-hmm.
For all your
That's
dick
it.
pic, for all your dick pics. No, I'm kidding.
No DMs of dicks fixed.
Hey, you know what's really funny? This is Kevin, by the way. This is really funny. If you email me, I guarantee a response, but it might not be what you're looking for. So, always remember that if you're going to send me an email.
So if I'm
me
looking
right-
for dick pics specifically,
If you follow me right now in about 20 minutes, I'll be sending you something.
It'll be soft, but it'll be something.
And it might be small, and it might be indented, but it'll be something.
Indented?
Indented?
Yeah, when you get married, it goes in, not out.
See a doctor.
Amen to that. Oh, for a second, I thought he said it's rented. That'd be a whole different story.
There you go.
Also, when you get married.
It gets cut off and indented. They sew it up, they push it back in.
Wow.
Sounds like he's talking about the seat again.
Yes, yeah. So you guys have experienced some I don't want to say revitalization because it was always kind of like low key in regards to the craft scene there. What have you experienced beyond those favorites within the state? Have you seen like a tremendous increase in things like beer expos or festivals and things like that? You know, what have you guys experienced in and around that area?
Oh, man, they're growing huge. I bet there's Beer Fest every weekend right now around us. We're invited to quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah, they're growing everywhere. And surprisingly, we're right up on the Michigan border.
Right.
And they have a great beer and wine scene right there, spirits, everything. However, their Beer Fests don't seem to take off quite like the ones just going a little bit south have. They tend to be little, but they also bring out some small breweries that we don't get to try any other time because they're bringing them from further up north where it's hard to get to. But yeah, Thad's right. Like if you want a brew fest, all you have to do is look around for a little bit, and there's one within a 2-hour drive, easy.
Yeah, you have places like Battle Creek in Grand Rapids, and my favorite Kalamazoo right there over the border.
Oh, man, that's a great city. Yeah, well, in Grand Rapids, Beer City, USA. I mean, what's their breweries? But just what they call the Gold Coast, coming up from Illinois through Indiana up into Michigan.
Right.
I mean, there's probably 20 breweries just within just an hour and a half, 2 hours right there.
Now, how
You
far
can spend
away?
all day.
Yeah. How far away is Chicago from you guys? You're not that far away, right? A couple hours?
Hour and a half.
Wow. So really, I mean, and that's an exploding beer scene as well. So I'm sure it's gonna, reach its tentacles out from it in all directions. And you guys are not all that far away from that.
Yeah, no, not at all. I took a drive over this last fall and started off at Microphone Brewing, and it was absolutely awesome there. And then we just started driving around. I hit breweries near me, and like 17 popped up within a 12-mile radius.
Wow.
In fact, we're
It's
actually
crazy.
interviewing one on our podcast on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Maplewood out of Chicago.
Hey, can you get me one of those cherry chocolate porters from Studebaker Brewing and put it in a bottle and send it over to me?
It's already in a bottle.
Well,
where's it?
ship it to me.
If it's in a can, though, he specifically wants you to open the can,
Open it
and pour it in a bottle, cork and cage that shit.
Why are you
and
guys
mail
making
it.
fun of me? I just want them to
Dip
send
it
me
in
the
wax.
fucking beer.
Don't.
By the way, if you guys don't follow me before you're off the phone, I'm going to hang up on you.
No, I have the phone. Jesus Christ.
He thinks you're actually sending dick pics. He's
I'm trying to. It's not working.
Should I do beer trade, dick trade.
Thank God the lights
God. Have you
I tell
guys?
what, I'm going to open up the can. I'm going to pour it in my mouth while you can see my dick pic.
There it is.
How's that?
I love it. And get a selfie of that.
We'll play some Barry White in the background. Nobody around. I'll be done in about 10 seconds.
With his indent.
Wow.
A tweezer, and my little pinky were in.
What a turn.
Self-deprecating.
I'm so glad
son
that
of a bitch.
your show derails as quickly as ours.
So you know the struggle that we fight every freaking time.
I'm sorry.
It's every
I'll
week.
shut up.
No,
I'll
you're
be quiet.
fine. This is.
I'll be quiet.
Don't
I'll
be
be
quiet.
quiet.
Just send your dick pics quietly.
No, they haven't followed me yet. If they follow me, if
right.
beer and nonsense.
He's on the phone.
He
How is-
can multitask, can
Can
he?
he? I don't. Maybe. I don't know. Does he have the earbuds in?
He's only got 600 followers. I'll be 601.
All right, there you go. I promise I'll be 601. So you guys, obviously you have a nice exploding scene there. What do you have coming up? What is the next big thing for you guys besides maybe expanding with the Hopped Up Network? What's your true ambition with the show? I know what ours is, and it's certainly probably not what Pete wants to hear, but I'll share with that in a minute. Share with us what you guys are thinking for the show.
So it's right now we're just kind of in the growth period, like he said a little while ago. We have 26 episodes in, so we're still kind of figuring out who we are, adding some segments in, so that way the listeners know what they're getting from us, and then just expanding our audience and our interviews. So we're trying to pull in people, talk about all kinds of things while we're drinking beer, from flat Earth to aliens to whatever comes to mind. We had the roller derby girls from our hometown.
Hey, we had roller
We
derby.
had the roller derby girls too.
Wow, what's with craft beer and roller derby?
Listen,
girls?
just add a
There's gotta be
chick in a
some
bikini,
connection
you'll get
there.
about a fucking 1,000 followers in about 2 days.
That's true. That's
Put
very
a girl,
true.
put a girl with a beer next to a nipple, and I promise you that everybody follows you.
It is. No, he's absolutely true, because we have 2,000 followers that took us almost 3 years to make. And yet this girl from Wyoming who just wears a bra and puts a beer next to her has like 450,000 people following her. So it really is just about that.
I'll send you that with my dick pic, all right?
And to be honest,
yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you're wearing the wrong outfit.
Well, obviously it'll look like a nipple, so just put a beer next
That's
to it.
true.
True.
Graz has a full D cup, so I mean, this might actually be good. We might do cleavage beer. We might
I'm trying to lose weight, as you
beer
can
and a
see by
cleavage?
my
What's the name of
seats
that?
collapsing.
Wait a minute, you broke the seat?
I didn't break the seat.
That's the M. Night Shyamalan twist here.
Yes.
Listen,
He did
beer
not
and
break it.
nonsense. What would you do if you had a beer tour from a very famous place called Hopscotch, and you go out to these 3 breweries, and one guy is so fat that he snaps your fucking chair on your bus like a piece of cracker?
Like a
How do you
piece
know
of
he was
cracker.
fat? Maybe it was 2 guys fucking on the bus.
It was nobody fucking on the bus.
That might be true.
It
too.
is actually.
I
isn't
don't
it a
allow
bang bus?
I don't allow intercourse, whether it's female on female, female on male, or male on male on my bus.
This is
Why are
limo
you using
talk
all these
concession.
gender-specific pronouns, Graz?
I only like transgender people on my bus. They can have sex.
Do you ever pull tarp around all the seats just so it
I
doesn't
told
get
you I
too
had to
messy?
pull tarp when that fat
I
girl
know.
almost puked all over my bus.
I know.
Wait, never mind.
That's a story for another day.
Yes, Mark's saying, all right, if I get out of here now, I could be in Kings Park.
I signed on for a lot more than I
signed up for this
thought.
shit. This guy's an asshole.
I'm just wondering if you serve pulled pork on it.
Ooh.
No, but I will.
Oh,
There is no bathroom on that bus, so just imagine what happens after a
Do you
few.
believe that beer and nonsense? And some guy snapped my chair like it was nothing, dude. My mechanic looked at it. He goes, "Can't fix it."
Wow.
somebody just throw a lawn chair in there. You'd be
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Down the lawn chair.
that's great. When I got corporate people on there. Oh, by the way, you top lawyer, you sit in a lawn chair.
Can you see that?
There it is.
What is that?
eBay, $150.
He's got it.
Sometimes it's the cost
Send
of
that
doing
to him.
business, brother. The cost of doing business, you know?
Oh my God!
You just saw a picture, guys. Just so you know.
Just so you know, Kings Park Brewery, the
Fucking
greatest
right.
brewery in the Long Island area.
Don't worry about it. The light's fine.
Oh.
The picture's not.
Definitely.
We'll figure that out later.
Like,
Graz is all about slamming doors today.
I'm sorry, I slammed the door.
You know, the only thing about this particular seat for $150, you just can't wave like a black light over it.
Void all warranties.
Sounds like our studio.
You guys, like I said, have a tremendous scene up there, and you guys are trying to pull. So, what's the next show? What do you guys have? Someone on Thursday? Are you interviewing a brewer, or what do you have going on?
Yeah, so we're going to be meeting up with a representative from Maplewood Brewing. They're doing a tap takeover, so we're going to be right at the tap house.
Nice.
And we actually record more than one at a time, and we're working on we have a local beer radio show, trying to get them on.
Nice.
There's one other. But
I think are we doing the Indiana episode?
Oh yeah,
potentially Thursday?
we're trying to do all 50 states, and we're getting representatives to not only just bring us beer from those states, but also talk about the beer scene in those states.
Do you guys not coordinate your events? Like, is one guy in Indiana and the other guy in Michigan? What's the deal?
I guess if we say
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
split
we're all
up
here.
and like try to cover more ground, or what are you guys doing?
No, yeah, we're all here, and we're just trying to coordinate our schedules between our wives and families and everything else.
The hell with the wives. They don't give a crap.
They don't.
No, they don't.
No.
Graz is on his third, just so you know.
I'm on my second.
Oh, right.
for now.
Yeah.
Working on the third.
That he
Is that
knows
done?
about.
It's 9%.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right, let me just touch this 9. You know, he has one, right?
Yeah.
Good. This is why it's going in. He won't ask for another one for a little bit. Have you ever had any of the PJ Rockers down in South Carolina?
Nope.
No, this is one we're
I
drinking
have
right now.
a peachy ale about 9.9. It's fucking great.
9.0. It's obviously getting to you. But it is very delicious. It has. It's not overly peached, and it definitely does have a little booziness to it, which is definitely
You can't even
appreciated.
taste it, Mike,
so.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
It
I
has
agree
like
with
a
it.
little aftertaste peach. It's not strong peach. It's very good.
So the
Not as good as Kings Park
guys in
Brewing.
Hops We Trust brought it up here. So we're trying this one out for the first time. First one I've had it from PJ Rockers. So RJ, yeah, FJ.
Yeah, we're drinking Revolution Brewing right now out of Chicago.
Okay.
It's the Northeast Hero. It comes in at 7%.
And that's the.
So-
I'm sorry, you said Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution out
Yeah.
of Chicago.
Yeah, they do a lot of those series, right? All the Hero series, the Galaxy Hero, the.
Yep.
That's
we
one of
just
the
haven't
ones.
had the Northeast yet.
He left.
That
his,
was
he
my
left his room.
the Northeast was
Revolution.
my
right
New
here.
Year's beer. That was the one I went with.
No, it's a good one. They one of the first ones that Graz had was that it was the Spaceship Hero or one of those ones that he was in a spaceship. Maybe it was Cosmic Hero.
Cosmic Hero. And then I had Daddy Warbucks. And then I had something from Trillium from you.
Wow, that's,
and then I had
that's really
some,
just
and then
jumping way.
And then I had a Barrage.
Yeah.
Whatever
No, but
it
like
is.
the first few beers that I introduced you to were ones that were being distributed up here. So we do
Yes.
get Revolution
Yes.
here, but I think you had like a 22 or was it a 20?
It was, all I know
it
is
was
I had-
a large can, whatever.
Guys,
it was.
I'm not. I've been talking a lot, and I'm gonna shut up. But I haven't had a really bad beer since I started. I mean, I'd say 95% of everybody that's walked in here has been a fantastic beer.
Agreed.
And I mean that. I'm not just saying that because it's the Wort, because I'm the novice, and if I didn't like it, I'd say this shit sucks. But it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Have
Yeah,
you
no,
guys?
we do know. I mean,
Have
one
you-
of our local breweries tells us that he wants us to beat up one of his beers,
Mhm.
and he's just not missing. We can't just destroy a beer if it tastes good.
I was going to say, so do you guys have any of those like instances where you get somebody on and you're like, oh boy, all right, we'll get through this and then we'll move on. Is there anything like that you guys have had?
On the MBR side, the Michiana Beer Reviewer side,
Mhm.
we've done a couple that, yeah, it's like, oh, that's missed. Sorry, this is going to be. We do a scale of 1 through 10, and it's.
Oh, so you do a review kind of based upon the interview and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
Michiana Beer Reviewers, we definitely do reviews.
Oh, good point.
And we do them right there in front of. Now, we don't always score it when we're with the brewer unless they specifically ask us for a score.
Okay.
We'll just talk about the elements that we taste within it.
Mhm.
But yeah, scoring it 0 to 10, with 0 being the drain pour and 10 being that nectar of the gods, and just having a good time. And we've been to a couple brew fests where they're like, we want you to try this one. And we start drinking, and I look at Thad, and Thad looks back at me, and we're just like, we don't have to communicate any more than that. We both are hating the beer.
It
But,
happens.
It does. It
but
does.
like Grant said, we haven't had many of those at all.
There's been some where I'm not a fan of.
Well,
that
you're
style, so
not a
it's
fan
tough.
of a
But you know
style,
what,
but
Pete-
it's not something
Pete,
that's a bad
overall-
beer, like it went bad, and you guys were like,
yeah.
Overall,
He
if
just
somebody
knows what he
walked-
doesn't like.
No, we've had
If somebody walked
No.
in with 5 beers, there were a couple you didn't like.
Every time, no,
But
they're-
every
they're-
time.
and
there's
tonight
always been a
included.
beer you didn't
I
like.
mean,
There's
Mark's beer that he brought in tonight, it's a hit.
I
I
haven't
mean, there's
had it
nothing
yet. I
I
haven't
could
had
even
it
say
yet.
that's bad about it. Everything that he had put into that between your Bill Grain and your hop edition, it was exactly what I like. So
I'll be the judge of that.
Hey, you know what? It was a toss up between that and the other one that I called diaper rash. I think I might have made.
I'm glad I didn't put that around my
Graz's
mouth.
diaper rash.
Oh, we still have to drink the amber, which we didn't get to yet. Oh shit! All right.
I would say on the podcast side, though, because there are 3 of us usually sitting here at one time, there is usually, I would say, 1 every 5 episodes where one of us isn't really feeling that, really feeling the beer, but the other 2 are, and it kind of rotates around. Sometimes, if it's an IPA, I'm usually all in. Once they go a little bit darker, I'm going to fade off a little bit faster than the other 2. But from the podcast side, there's nothing that's a drain pour at all, and even close.
Yeah, you're right.
But we do have the luxury of being able to pull in beers that we want to try for the podcast side. So we kind of get out there and get some different stuff that we wanted to try anyway. So
We had a Goza that's actually going to be on our next episode that I was the only one that was really liking it.
General Tso's chicken goes.
It was called General.
Fucking what now?
General Chow's chicken?
All right, now we need to have a conversation about this.
Well, it'll be out Friday.
I
so-
love Chinese food. That's a
You
thing.
won't, no. Yeah.
But
you will not
I have
like
a
that
feeling
beer.
I don't want this beer.
You might pretty no.
No, you wash it down with "We Love You" long time.
How? Why is it called that? What is in it? I really need more details. This is.
Well, it did.
We'll save it for the next episode of the Michigan Beer Reviewers.
We will leave you with this teaser though for that episode.
There you go.
And tell them what the secret ingredient was in that.
Oh.
MSG.
That's a good one. I like that. They did that well.
God, that sounds terrible.
So Madison Square Garden is a new ingredient that we're going to put in everyone's beer. That's delicious.
So what's your favorite sport? What's your favorite sports team down there?
Down there, it's across there. It's west of
where
us.
it is.
Yeah.
Who do you guys like?
There's a lot of Chicago fans around this area, so we're all Cubs fans.
God, I hope you
they're
come in
both
fucking
Bears
last
fans.
place. I hope you guys. I hope Chris Bryant breaks his ankle.
I hope they trade him.
Yeah. They get the only value they have left is Chris Bryant.
Without getting anybody
I'll
hurt,
tell
I
you
hope the fucking left field stands collapse.
Just naturally, like with nobody there on an off day. Yeah.
I got bleacher season tickets. I need
Oh no! Yeah, please don't be there when that happens. And how
That's
real
all right.
is
Steve Bartman's their new first baseman?
Yes.
Is it?
He's going to get a shot. He's
Yeah.
gonna get a shot, so.
I heard they're going to
As long
trade
as-
Tebow from the Mets.
As long as Peter Eater doesn't grab
Throw
him
him
up
out to
for
you.
Florida. So
So wait a minute, you're out in the outfield in the bleacher seats. Do you have to hit a drum to tell them that's a fastball or a changeup?
no, that's only in Houston.
You think it's
It's
only
only
in
in
Houston?
Houston.
You think it's only in
You
Houston.
think it's only Houston?
It's everywhere, man. They're all lying.
I love the way the Yankees became the morality police. All
How
of
did
a
that
sudden,
We don't remember
Everybody feels sorry for the Yankees.
You know what? Everybody does feel sorry for the Yankees. And
I don't.
That's sad. Nobody feels bad about the Mets. We had a brilliant manager, and now we got fucking Jose Alu's son.
I feel bad for the Mets. I always feel bad for the Mets.
Yeah, exactly.
Who said that?
I don't blame you, Chris.
I,
Is that Chris?
Chris, I hope the
Christian?
fucking
Yeah.
Cubs come in last.
Jesus Christ.
There's a good chance. I think the Reds might win that damn division. I don't know how.
I hope Mitchell Trubisky breaks both his ankles.
Me too. There's another one.
I was going to say, that wouldn't be a bad thing for
No,
Bears fans.
I hope
For
Derrick
no-
Rose,
It was
I hope
funny.
Derrick
He went out
Rose
with
walks
that.
around with no clothes on.
Wait, why?
Because I like
Why
it.
not?
He's looking
It went
for
that
another
way
dick
again,
pic.
didn't it?
Maybe he's the guy that broke your seat on the bus.
Yeah.
His
Trubisky.
penis might have.
The weight of his balls.
It's a very odd show tonight.
All right, yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect thing. Gentlemen, do me a favor. I want you to give us the big plug. Give us all the social media contact and information. Find out. Tell our audience where they can find you. And
Where can I hear about this fucking review of a General Tso's beer, for the love of God?
Well, that's on our podcast, which will be up this Friday. So you can check that out.
New
We
episode
also
dropping.
Have yeah, we'll drop it on Friday. So, and we have a Facebook fan group called Beer and Nonsense Podcast. We're on Twitter at Beer and Nonsense. And then you can see a lot more of what we do with the festivals. We do some specials called At the Tap, where breweries bring us in to feature new beers, or if they're doing a tap takeover like this next Thursday, they bring us in to talk about that. And you can find that on Facebook. It's at Beer Reviewers. On Instagram, we're at hashtag Michiana Beer Reviewers. And on YouTube, we have the Michiana Beer Reviewers Beer Tube that we're not utilizing very well.
And if people are following you, they can catch any live feeds that might be going on through Facebook Live or anything like that?
Yep. We go live when we're doing At the Taps and also at Brewfest. So, yeah, you can catch us live doing reviews and doing interviews. We have this, what we call 5 questions for a brewer. We ask every brewer the same 5 questions. So, and we get some interesting answers from the first beer they brew, and some of them consider a Mr. Beer Kit their first beer. So.
I just followed you on Twitter and sent you a dick pic.
Nice.
I got a suggestion for a 6th question, innie or outie.
Oh, that's inverted.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
Or I would say carpet matches the drapes.
You
That
guys
would
talk about topics like being husbands. What do you say? Oh, my wife's out. Oh, my wife's out. Oh, the beer's good. Oh, I got 6 kids.
I'm
I
sure
got
it's
4. What do you got?
it's a bit more complex
Well, we
than
can't
that.
tell you what we say because then we get in trouble.
Right, exactly. See, they got to keep it
I'm
all
gonna
proprietary.
follow Beer and Nonsense on Apple Podcasts.
That's right.
Send dick pics.
Yep, that's us.
All right.
Now, is it beer and nonsense or craft beer and nonsense? Because I just followed both.
I just followed dick pics too.
And you sent dick pics out to both. Whoops.
With an X.
Yeah.
Send a bunch of dick pics.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for calling into the show. We really appreciate it, and glad to welcome you into the Hopped Up Network. And thanks for all the work you do out in Indiana. And if you have any good beers that you would like to trade with us, we've been doing some beer trades lately throughout the states.
Who's the head of the Hopped Up Network?
Rob.
Tell Rob to blow me.
All right. All right, guys.
There it is. All right. Good. That's
We'll
a good
do.
end on
We'll
it.
do, guys.
We'll do.
Dynamite
We'll-
dropping.
we'll-
Thanks for calling, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Have
Have a
you
good
guys call
one.
in a few weeks here.
Absolutely.
You guys are interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let us know. Hit us up.
We'll be around.
Cheers,
All right.
gentlemen.
guys.
Cheers.
Let it. All right, so we're at Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. I got to pee. The
Yeah,
piss
good
is up
time
to
for a
my,
break.
my second eyeball here.
I need
not
an
happy with
adrenaline
the-
shot.
You're
Anyone got
okay
an
back?
adrenaline
You're all right
shot
right there?
thing, Lovey?
He looks
Pete's
like
not
he's.
too happy with the fact that I told Rob from the Hopped Up Network to blow me.
Oh, no, it's fine. All right, this is where Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. We're back after this.
You're listening to Govs Radio, internet radio versus whatever that alien shit is. Whose idea was this anyway?
Govs Radio.
You're listening to the Wort on Govs Radio.
Hey, moron, it's pronounced the Wort.
What the hell is a wort?
It's pronounced the Wort.
What is it? The wort? Yeah, okay, I'll do that again. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
It is the Wort. Not wart, not fort, not short. The Wort.
I'm sorry, I just don't know what that means. When do you guys start drinking?
Who says we haven't been drinking?
Where's mine? If I say it correctly this time, can I have a drink?
We'll think about it.
You're listening to the Wort on Govs Radio.
Yeah, we're back. This is where we're Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. We are live here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, Long Island. Phone numbers here, 516-465-3990, 516-513-0515. I think no matter how blackout drunk I will ever be able to get, I'll still remember those phone numbers. I'll be on a curb throwing up into my sock and going, 516-465-3990. It's just something
And I'll
that's
never
ingrained
remember them.
and I think you blocked it out like a bad memory. Show me on the doll where he touched you that made you forget about the phone numbers for the last 3 years. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so we're back in the studio here, live on YouTube and on Facebook and on our website, govsradio.com. I actually got the logo off now that I did that.
Good job.
I do. I remember things sometimes. And we're back here. I want to talk kind of where we left off before all of that craziness happened in the last 2 hours.
Chris, move to the left a little bit, please. Yeah, over, Chris.
No.
Yeah, I wanna
Which
see
way you want me to
No,
move? This
can't
way
see
or
you.
this way?
The other left, you mean?
Put your arm around Ralph.
No, don't do that.
Grab
Don't do
his
that.
balls.
It's just, yeah, he's
Grab
fine.
my what?
He's fine. He's going to Isla Fisher you.
I want to see Chris. He's
Try getting
dancing.
jacked off under the table.
That's disgusting.
I'm going to go ask my balls, jackass.
So much work.
Motorboating son of a bitch.
When are you guys getting married, Ruth?
What?
When are you guys
When are we
getting
getting
married?
married?
Next May. As
Are
soon as
you?
We book a venue.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I mean,
This
don't
was
say
an
it, yeah.
announcement.
Like it's a question.
Yeah. Jesus.
We have
She's
to book a
marrying you,
venue.
Ralph?
I got a
That's
dress
me.
this week, so I have to get married now.
Oh, nice. How long you dating? Too long.
5 years.
Going on
15 years, 7 months, 8 days.
200 years.
Beginning
I
of
would
the
get
year.
married at
Me
Kings
for
Park
more
Brewery
than
in
6
Kings
years,
Park?
so I'm lucky you're marrying me.
Actually, yeah.
So we were talking about the web series. I had a quick question for you. So the Tennessee breweries that you guys were talking about, how did you get in touch with them? How did they reach out to you? Did they get
Yeah, so
was it basically social media kind of like
yeah,
the
a large
same
part,
down at the
yeah, a large part of it was social media. Also, because I mean, we produce different stuff all over the country. So we've got a producer in Nashville that works with us named David. What's up, David Williams? If you can hear us,
Woo, give us a call 516-465-3990.
We love you, David Williams. Send a dick pic.
There you go.
Don't send us.
He's Canadian. He might.
Hey.
Put the logo on it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
But he,
sorry,
Dave
he's a
started,
dick pic.
He's sorry, he's my
Sorry.
dick. He started to connect us to some of the people there he knew. And again, it's such an easy thing that people are actually really interested. They want to take part in it. They want to be involved in it. So
and it's free.
Like we're not charging anybody to be in it.
Free promotion.
Yeah.
Free promotion.
Fucking do it.
So Dave was just like, hey, I know, this person at this brewery and this brewery and this brewery and this brewery. Great, I'll talk to him and see what we can do. And oh, by the way, why don't you guys talk to Matt over at Rhizome Productions that does a lot of the beer festivals down there, and I think he even might be involved in the one in Buffalo up here. But so we made those connections through him.
Right.
We went down and filmed at Winter Warmer Fest. That's when we basically got the connections with some of the breweries that we're going to be filming at when we go down in March and also in April.
Nice. And you already have a schedule lined up of who you're going to have.
Yeah, we've got
Jackalope, Black Abbey.
Yeah.
Jackalope.
New Heights.
I know, Jackalope, right?
Cool.
New Heights. We're trying to get Yazoo down there. They're like Linus at Yazoo. They've been in Tennessee, probably one of the longer craft brew.
Yep, I've heard the name.
There.
Yep.
Blackberry Farm, we'd love to.
Yeah,
go
we'd like
to
to get Blackberry Farm.
Farm.
That's a different. That's a different deal, though. It's like because it's a brewery, but it's also like Blackberry Farm is like an extremely nice wedding venue out in the country, like in the mountains.
Ralph, there you go, Ralph. That's where your wedding should be.
Destination wedding.
Smart idea. He'll be able to afford it if we can get some sponsorship. If you'd like to talk to us about some sponsorship opportunities,
XFL Guardians, call us.
Reach out.
Well, you could probably get a whole bunch of drink aid there, and maybe some vintage T-shirts. That's the one I was talking about.
All right.
But money's tough to come by. I mean, I've been hitting the internet hard, like really hard. Meetings, sit downs. We're going to talk about, like constant contacts and back and forth. It's tough because a lot of the same people are in the same boat in that there's not a lot of money to be shared.
Right.
Brewers aren't making $1 billion. They're not driving around, in expensive cars. They're doing this because they have a passion for the art. It's like an artist. If you make it, once in a while you're the Blue Points or you're the Goose Islands or you're the whatever.
Right.
But for the rest of us, it's just a matter of
Then everyone shits on you.
Right. It's a matter of eking out a living and continuing it, as a hobby or continuing as that.
Is that true,
it's
Mark?
very, very, very
Mark?
tough.
Not at all.
What?
He's planning to be a billionaire.
Yes.
No, you've been doing it for how long now?
I'm shitting out $1,000 bills.
I know that. Didn't you ask me to get a $4,000 hooker for me and you later, right?
Wait, whoa. How did I miss this out of the room? What just happened? Speaking of $400 hookers, this is delicious amber, by the way.
Yeah.
Amber's a hooker that I would definitely get in bed with.
Yeah.
Yes, I made that connection.
The color always really just gets me.
I do like
it's that amber, but it's got a little bit of red.
He's got a keg back here. That's
fancy contraction.
Out.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out, Graz.
Can I call you the Graz?
Yes.
Call me anything you want.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
I've been called an asshole by. I have listeners that tell me to go fuck themselves.
That's 100% true.
I can't imagine that.
What you got? You got full pour. You got a boss pour. Hashtag boss pour. There you go, boss. Enjoy that. Give us a little quick rundown of the, the grain bill and what you got going on in this amber. Because, not everything. Don't give all the secrets away. The secrets are what make this beer so
Dude, that's fantastic.
It is very good, right? Very malty. What I enjoy in an amber.
What's the APR, Mark?
16.9%. If your credit's good.
Wait, Mark. Since I've been starting with them, they won't.
Tier 1 credit only.
I won't let them change me. It's an APR.
You've been pre-approved.
So what's the APR on this thing?
Yeah, it's
16.9%.
I'm hiding my face from the camera.
48-month term. 3 points on the back end with Tier 1 credit.
It's
6.3. It's fantastic.
All right.
Ooh, nice.
So it's actually the the key to it is a low attenuating yeast that just leaves a lot of that beautiful malty goodness to it, you know, and
what we've grown to love from a good amber is that maltiness, the breadiness.
Mark, how many do you make? I'm sorry if you said that before. How many do you have on tap right now?
Just two.
Two?
Two. That's all I'm doing right now.
So now this
I'm gonna occasionally do one more, like we were talking before about a Belgian strong. But generally, what I'm trying to do really is trying to really push these two out. You know, really.
So let me catch Graz up because he missed some of it.
We tie people down and make them drink it, you know, and then take their money out of their pockets and shit. It's
it's racketeering.
So Graz, this is what's going on.
Living in the limo business.
This is what's going on with Mark. So Mark right now is a nomadic contractual brewing company.
What does that mean, nomadic?
Means he's not really jumping as nomadic as possible, but he's brewing at a North Fork Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We just went there.
Yes,
for
we
the
know. Yes,
hopscotch.
that's the full circle of what we're talking about.
It's like it's like the fucking circle of life here.
Right.
Now, does Mark hang out at his place, or does he hang out at North Fork?
Well, he doesn't have a place, and this is where I was going with this. So Mark is looking for a brick and mortar. But first, in order to establish in his hometown of Kings Park, he has to wait for the town to install their promised sewer system.
Oh, God.
Without a sewer system, he cannot have
Mark,
anything yet.
Whatever you got to do, stay nomadic for as long as you can, make a lot of money, because Christ Almighty, the town, it'll be 2022.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Well, we were saying lucky.
No doubt. And that's the thing. I'm comfortable.
We're not trying to be negative. We're trying to be realistic.
No, I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing. I mean, look, opening up. On brick and mortar, I can't have my. I have a very nice job right now, and this
Thank
actually
God.
works out very good. Yeah, right, exactly. Because it's not that much.
But Mark,
money,
I didn't mean to say that because I know at least 2 or 3 brewers that sat here and said, "Oh, we're going to get our license in August." And they're from town of Hempstead.
Oh, yeah.
I turned to them. I go, "You ain't getting shit till next year." One of the guys came up to me and said, "You were absolutely right.
We ain't getting shit.
You ain't getting shit for 6 months because I know how they work. You know what I mean?"
They trying to squeeze every penny.
I'm not telling
I had my attorney. My attorney used to work for the SLA, and even with that it still took us a year to get licensed.
Do the licensing,
New York State.
yeah.
It was it's just ridiculous.
It's
all
tough.
The hoops you got to jump through.
But you got a good job and you do this nomadically, so you could survive
exactly.
this way, right?
So if I
well, we'll say contractually because he's really not jumping from brewery to brewery. I would say nomadic, in that there are some brewers out there that go to each or different breweries in each place and contract out of there. But he's more kind of already set up with North Fork, so
that's great.
He'll be staying there.
And to be clear, too,
and the fact that they're brewing the beer
I
perfectly.
I don't brew the beer myself either, and I have to give all the credit in the world to Peter and Ian over at North Fork because, again these guys are my saviors. As
they
I
seem
said
to run a good
before,
show
what
over there.
happened. Yeah, they really do.
They seem to be very loyal to the industry.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about those guys. They really saved me in a tough moment. And,
a lot of people.
And it worked out great
yeah.
for the both of us. But still, I almost think that that was actually better because even their system were brewing 10 barrels in a batch, where over at if Fire Island would have kept on going, it would have been 15, and maybe I wouldn't have been able to move 15 at first. It might have been difficult, and then losing some product, because I'm not going to serve anything that is past its time.
Correct.
I don't want to throw something out there that's
just to get the money back.
It's a good way to get your name in the toilet.
Right.
So,
exactly. Things may not have worked out, So I think everything
That's
just worked out the way it needed to.
The right size, the right time, the right everything. Yeah. So for what you guys have been doing in regards to your filming, have you seen that progression of breweries that are picking up more contractual stuff? Have you talked to people that have been doing more of that in the New Jersey area?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott and Bob over at Bolero, we were just there to shoot their opening.
Nice.
A couple weeks ago, and they had been trying for how long to get a spot?
Oh, it's forever.
They were journeyman brewers for 6 years.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
6+ years. And then it took them well over a year though. Once they got approved, then the problem with them was not the approval from the state. I think it was the approval from the Meadowlands because they are right by MetLife Stadium. So you have so many more restrictions because you were by that stadium in the new mall that's
It's
out
that
in New
fucking
Jersey, which
Nickelodeon.
is a fucking nightmare.
It is. It's the Nickelodeon.
We've been to the Mall of America before. We
Yeah.
have a buddy out in Minnesota, and it's just like
What's this one called? Mall Lithuania?
Dream America.
Yeah, it's
Dream America.
American Dream.
American Dream. That's
American
right. I heard it's got a great ski. I heard it's got a nice
Indoor
mountain.
skiing, yeah. Well, that's what they want to do with Xanadu, but they lost all their funding.
That's what,
so.
and that's what it was originally called, was Xanadu.
Yeah.
And then I think this was the third company to pick up
Yes.
that project.
Because
And
everyone
they
else
finally
went
quit.
bankrupt
Yeah.
and
they all went bankrupt.
ran out of money, and they all
think the
contributed.
company who
Nickelodeon
owns
there,
it
and now
now
they're
is
trying to
they're
put Disney
from
there,
France
too,
or
a
something.
Star
Yeah.
We are from France.
Yeah,
Like, that's
we
it.
are.
There. That's it.
The Coneheads company. But I mean, that's the thing. Like they wanted, and we talked to Scott down at AC Beer Fest. He was dying to get that spot and to get opened up, and it did. It took him just about a year now to get that finalization. So I'm sure he kind of went through the gamut of contract brewing and being able to, because he has this stuff out forever. I've had Bolero Snort for
Yeah,
a
I've had
very
it.
long time.
Oh, yeah.
And where we work, like we've had Bolero on tap for a couple of years easily.
Yeah.
2 years, I think.
I
At
had
least.
no idea that they were
Interesting, too.
contract brewing. I really just I mean, sometimes you see these things and you're just assuming
Yeah.
it's such a popular brand,
Yeah.
You're just assuming
Yeah.
that they're
Well, we've
got their
definitely
own shop.
seen a couple of different business models, in the breweries that we've talked to. I mean, we've got contract brewers. You've got
Hoboken.
Gypsy brewers.
Hoboken, you got gypsy brewers.
I love Hoboken.
I think
by the
that's
way.
what
Right,
you would
like-
consider Bolero. They were gypsy brewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that's more
Like Root and Branch or
Yeah, they were brewing in a couple places in Pennsylvania, I think, for a little while. Then they were brewing somewhere in New Jersey. So they were kind of going
Or
where
Nightmare.
where they had space, where
Who's
they
now
could
with
get in.
12%.
yeah.
And now, because Bolero is the largest brewing facility in New Jersey,
Just go from nothing to
fuck?
just the biggest.
seriously,
Feast
they
for-
are
feast
now
for
the.
family,
I'm
man.
pretty sure that's what he said. They're the largest brewing facility in New Jersey. So they're
By
trying
square
to get.
footage or capacity?
Might be both.
It might be it's big.
It's huge.
Wow.
They are. I was asking, like, so you obviously you guys were gypsy brewers. Like, what are you doing to give back to the beer community, like for the next group of gypsy brewers
Sure.
or whatever you want to call? And
new
he's
class.
like, right now, like we're trying to make sure we get
Nothing.
we produce our beer. But I think they were doing something. They were teaming up with someone recently. But they don't. They want
Just
to
like
eventually
every
be a
immigrant group that
contract
comes to
brewery.
America, lock the fucking doors.
We ain't want nobody's shit. Gator don't want that. But I think they're going to be, so once they kind of like establish themselves as a brewery, they're going to start bringing in more people and let the gypsies roll through and make some beer. Because New Jersey you're finding that there's, like everywhere else in the country, there's a huge explosion of breweries opening, but for every one that opens, you're seeing 2 close.
Yeah.
And one reason is that the owners are like, oh my God, I want to make beer and I'm going to make all this money. And that's not what being a brewer or owning a brewery is about. It's really, there's a love, there's a passion to it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's
And-
out of their hands. Sometimes it's out of their hands.
Well, sometimes
But a
it
lot
gets
of
to the
people
point
just
where
don't want to do the work, and
the
that's why they
decision-
close.
The
They're like, this is
decision
too
should
much
be
work.
made at one point where you're getting a popular level, and you have to make the decision whether to go all in or pull way back.
Yep.
And there's been a bunch of breweries here on Long Island that have already done that, and they've chosen to pull back as opposed to jump forward, because the ones that tend to jump forward, if they don't sell out to a bigger
Yep.
name,
You just
then
go
you're
out.
not going to collapse. You're going to
Because the
collapse.
towns suck. I apologize.
Which
No,
is
it's not all the
interesting about,
town.
like, Cape May Brewing is an interesting model, right? Because they now have Cape May distribution, right?
Okay.
So
They're the largest
they're
distribution,
the largest.
I think.
They're the largest in distribution in New Jersey. Cape
Or at
May
least
Brewing.
craft-wise, yeah.
And they now, because they have Cape May distribution, right? So now they're distributing, I believe, other people's.
That's
So they
great.
basically said,
Beer
"Fuck
for
it, I'm
them.
not going to pay a distribution company.
They just started
I'm
their
just
own.
going to
Do it
start my
ourselves."
own distribution company." 12% was the same way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 12% has their own kind of, I want to say incubator, but it's their own brewery in a sense, and then they also distribute. So everyone that comes through 12% has the option to buy into their incubator / brewery, or they can just be distributed by it. So they have that lock on the market. In a sense.
Right. So and interesting with them too, because they, such an interesting place where they did it. So Cape May is
I'll try that Cape May if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the pale ale fan.
By
Me too, I'm dry.
By try, I've already had it. It's so good.
It's a good one. It's a good one. But,
I have some friends down in Jersey too that send us stuff. So
okay, yeah. So you've had several of these, I'm sure.
Yes, I've had Beach House was good. A lot of those around the. No, you're not getting
We
the
have
can.
more.
Oh, you have more?
Yeah, we have plenty.
Can
All
I
right.
have the can, please?
We brought plenty.
Christ almighty, how am I coming in here 10 times?
I saw the.
We don't want you coming in here 10 times.
A fucking can!
The Graz wants
Just give him a whole can.
But then it's a completely different model than what most breweries would think of. They won't think of let's just double down and be the distributor as well. They'll think, oh, well, who do we need to sign on to? But it might actually work out in a lot of states to have at least one or two of those
that happen,
around the regions that have that, because then you can pick up some of your friends and some of the other ones that are around that aren't distributing.
Right.
And also same thing with the canning companies. Some of the canning companies are branching out from being a brewery since they had their own canning line
Right, the
as a
mobile canning
brewery.
lines and stuff.
They're like, all right, let's just help our friends out and can there too. So they're becoming canning distributors too.
Yeah, the number of times. So a buddy of mine, Dr. James Sturzione, String Fan on Instagram, he comes over.
What is he again?
He's String Fan, STRINGPHAN.
Dick pic fan.
Yeah.
Mark, I love you.
Guy I play mandolin with. We play bluegrass together. But he comes over like once a week, and we have a big bonfire at my house, and he always brings over, a couple of different beers from different places, and I can't remember where I was going with this.
James Sturziano.
It doesn't matter. You had me at mandolin and,
Yeah.
and bonfire and beer.
Bonfire, beer, mandolin.
You had me at veterinarian.
There you go. There you go, Dr. James.
Dr. James, your veterinarian, all of his friends in the field professional send dick pics.
It's in everybody's bio. How is that possible now?
But it's got to be a dog's dick pic now.
Or a horse. I'm going to send him my puppy's dick pic.
Well, a horse is more magnificent in regards to the dick pic, so I'm going to do horse shots.
Yeah, but that horse thing's been just overplayed.
I know. If it's not you and a horse, then what's the point? What's a duck gonna do?
I almost timed that right because Ruth was just about to take a sip, and that would have been Bolero snort all over the audio.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get sprayed on at some point in time tonight.
But Cape May has really done like the next level thing for that area, and they're really helping that. I don't want to say Atlantic City to the north of, let's say, the Gothels or something like that. Somewhere in that range. There's so many breweries that are popping up all along the shore in the Jersey Shore area because it's Ship Bottom is another one. Yep, I saw that one, and like I said, Beach House was another one, and there's a couple more.
What's the only one in Staten Island now, Michael? There's only one.
No, there used to be 3, and now I believe there's 2. It's Killsborough and Flagship,
and our the Impractical Jokers.
Well,
Pete, I just wanted to hear your
Flagship.
voice. I haven't heard you in a while, so you are the talent. You know what I mean?
Rub Sam and Hordem. I don't know. Whatever. R&B.
Rubs them in whores?
R&H.
Pete, I like to rub you and whore you.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm here for that.
I know I can.
He just had a baby. He's gonna need some. He's gonna need some
Suddenly
affection.
the show takes a left turn.
I've been taking left turns all night, Mark. Where you been? As soon as I walked in, it went a different way.
Well, listen, I heard 3 lefts make a right, so we're good.
There you go. Me, Pete, Mark,
that's
and
a thinker.
Ralph.
That's a thinker. You got to think about that one.
Chris will watch. He'll film it. Ambassador Studios.
I got
3
my
dicks and a
camera.
beer.
We'll turn my GoPro on.
You should have had that one on for
We
that
should
one.
do our own humped up network porn. You know what I mean?
Yes,
3 dicks and a beer.
Well, don't tell Rob that.
Oh, Rob can blow me.
I got that the first time, yes.
Rob, I love you. Limo talk. Limo talk in the Humped Up Network with a beer.
Would it hurt you to tell you that Rob is the one that requested you not come down to AC Beer Fest?
I expect that. Because
He wasn't.
Got the personality.
He wasn't. I
of a
just
wet
wanted to see
neck.
your reaction to that.
Did he do that?
No.
Well, tell Rob he should get me a ticket because I'll bring instant laughs.
We have 6 total tickets that we had.
We're bringing Steve for the laughs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And the information.
Wow.
And the street cred.
Gives a fuck about the
Street
information.
cred.
Everybody there knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
needs to know more?
Well,
the
Nicky
last
Nuts.
ticket's going to a puppet that they
That's-
had.
It's right here. Hold on.
Yeah, where's your puppet? He's going to Atlantic City with us.
Not the meat puppet.
No, he's got.
Wait, let me see.
This is one of them.
Why does he have a condom on his head?
I don't know. Yeah. There he is.
Oh boy.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is Scrubs. Hold on. Let me get the camera on him here.
Sure sucks.
Yeah. Here's Scrubs. This is going well. Just to let everyone know.
How did
That's
we not bring
Scrubs. We do have a puppet for the show.
Cornflake.
We have Cornflake is our puppet.
You do have it, yeah?
Yeah,
We do, yeah, we
Cornflake,
do.
he travels with us. We didn't bring him.
Everyone
Do I
needs
have that
something.
video?
You
I
need
might
some
have
sort of
the videos
mascot
there.
or some sort of like emotional support animal.
He's definitely
I'll bring
our
my dog
emotional
next
support
time.
animal.
He could just get out of the house.
He's our drunk support animal.
Yeah, drunk support.
So wait a minute, Pete, you're allowed to go to AC?
What do you mean allowed?
Are you going, Pete?
Yeah, I'm going.
Wow.
I can only go with work though. I can only go one of the days.
Oh,
so.
please. We know who's got the shoes in that family. Please.
No,
I can only go for one day because my wife doesn't want me home on Sunday so I can eat dinner with the kids.
He's wearing sneakers.
They're slip-ons.
I knew you would use that work. Oh, work wants me back.
Got the
Bullshit.
Air
Your wife
I
wants
can't
me
take
back.
off. That's the thing. No, Mike's I can't take any more time off of
Yeah,
work.
we're leaving early on Friday morning, and we're probably going to go to Icarus on the way down. They have a 12 o'clock open on Friday, so we're going to try to hit that up and time it
Is
right.
Thomas coming with you again?
Thomas is going to be there, yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Steve, Nikki Nux, Pete, myself, and
the green furry
originally it was Nikki Nux's fiance.
Well, at least one ticket. You said 6. That leaves 5. That means an extra one there.
I wasn't counting.
I'm gonna have to take my shoes off.
Can
to
I
show
go?
'em. Yeah. Well, I'll say it again. It's myself and Pete.
That's 2.
Okay, good. Here we go.
Steve.
You ready? Steve.
That's 3.
Tom.
4.
Nikki Nux.
5.
His fiance.
His fiance's not going.
Right. So we're making it into a bachelor party
So
weekend.
why am I not invited? Because I'm the fucking life of the party.
Because it's Nikki Nux's other best friend and my best friend Brian is coming down with us.
Tell Rob. You call Rob from the Hop Network. The Hop Network.
He might have an extra ticket. You know what? Let me look.
I'm coming.
Are you going to come all 3
Yes,
days?
I will come. No, I'll come. I'll hang out with Pete. I'll come
Friday-
with Pete
on Saturday?
Pete and I will go Saturday. We'll drive
Good
down.
luck with it. Good luck in that fucking ride down.
We'll herkle jerk each other around the fucking Tappan Zee Bridge.
Hope so.
Hopefully he'll go down on me.
I don't know how to get to
Hopefully he'll
Atlantic
go
City,
down
so
on
you
me
can
by the
navigate.
Staten Island Expressway.
I'm pretty sure you don't go to Tappan Zee.
I have no idea.
To go to Atlantic City.
Couldn't
You
tell
were
you.
going 6
No, the
hours out of the
goggles,
way.
the goggles.
Yeah.
Yes, the goggles. That's
Pete,
right.
I'll drive. You
All right.
sit. You relax. We'll have a
That'll
couple
work.
of drinks on the way. We'll get pulled over. We'll be
Hope we
fine.
can tan it lost. Fuck it.
I'll have my pants open. I'll say he was giving me a Hummer.
All right, speaking of Hummers, so a lot of the things that you guys have been doing
Ralph,
in
I'm
regards
sorry.
to
I
your
apologize.
in your web series have really started to highlight some of the breweries that you guys have visited. So far, what has been some of the best places you've been, and what are you looking forward to seeing, experiencing, talking to? What's some of those highlights that you really want to kind of
Go
I don't
for
want
it,
to say
Ralph.
highlight again.
Well, for me, just getting to know these people who that's one of the reasons why we started doing this. Everyone has a story,
Yeah.
right? And some of these people, some of their stories are some of the most interesting things you're going to hear. Like down in Ship Bottom, the owner
Where?
there,
Ship
Ship Bottom,
Bottom?
which is
Where the fuck is Shit Bottom?
It's in LBI.
Shit
I think
bottom.
it's. I think it's shit.
Ship.
Where?
Oh, Ship
In
Bottom.
my pants
Like
later
a
tonight.
I think it's. I think it's actually.
I thought he said Shit
Ship
Bottom.
Bottom.
I was gonna
in,
stop
like,
at White
town.
Castle on the
Oh,
way
okay.
home,
No,
so
like the little
in my
area.
pants later.
It
That's
would be
where
a Shit Bottom.
So Ship
do you start
Bottom
at
down
White-
in Shit Bottom.
Did you stop at White Castle on the way back?
Where is Ship Bottom?
It's
New Jersey?
I think the
LBI.
town is called Ship
It's called
Bottom.
Ship
It's on
Bottom.
LBI.
But it's in
though.
LBI. Mhm.
What's
Yeah, yeah.
LBI? Long Beach Island or something
No.
like that? Long Branch?
Is it?
Long
Long Branch.
Beach. No,
Long
Long Branch
Beach.
is another. That's closer up north.
All right,
but
so
the
you
Long
went to
Beach
further
Island-
down.
You went
yeah,
to
yeah.
Ship Bottom.
Yeah, LBI is
So at the
Midway.
Shit Bottom, where'd you go?
So down there, he's brewing a beer for his daughter, whose favorite mythological creature
You wanna call it
is
that.
mermaids. She loves mermaids.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's kind of.
I wasn't going to make a shit joke now. I'll stay away from it. I was
Now
going
you
to say
feel
something
worse?
about it, but now that your daughter
You're
likes
the mermaid
mermaids, I'm going to
blonde
go away
ale.
from
Yeah.
that.
So that's the kind of things that you see, that really kind of nice side of this business, which at times is very hard to break into. Obviously
love you,
make money
Ralph.
in. Love you too, Graz.
Everyone
But
gets
yeah,
some love,
those are the
Graz.
kinds of things you see. I loved meeting with the Hoboken guys because they brew one of my favorite beers, the Bodie Blonde, which I love. Huge Point Break guy.
Yeah.
But they don't have a tasting room. So that's one of the things that they're currently fighting with Hoboken is to try and cut all the legal red tape to get their own tasting room.
But they're in
open.
distributors, right? You can
Yeah.
find
Yep.
them. Yeah.
Now, how long do you think that's going to take, Ralph?
I mean,
Well,
it's already been
They
how
were
long for
hoping
them?
this year
Yeah, they're
that
hoping
they
this
were
year
going to
to
get the
get it.
tap room open.
Hmm.
As far as brewing in Hoboken, they need to start looking to contract in
Yeah,
New
they don't
Jersey,
know.
maybe.
There's no telling how long that might
Yeah,
take.
nobody knows.
Yep.
New
Fingers
Jersey is
crossed,
definitely
'cause
one of.
It's just as
It's
hard
difficult.
as some of the other towns here on Long Island. Hoboken is one of those
Yeah.
really like locked down places.
Yeah.
Great place to be.
Mm.
Hang out, drink, have a good time. But at this point, it's one of those towns that's like Huntington and Patchogue, and you're gonna have red tape all over the place.
Yeah.
So.
Pete, we had
And New
Pete, we
Jersey
had
in
Pete-
general is a very difficult state to open a brewery in because a brewery in New Jersey does not hold a liquor license. They are an educational venue. And that's why if you go to a
right?
brewery in New
It's
Jersey, you
crazy.
have to go on a tour.
Yeah, I know.
So
I remember these.
because New
This is where I
Jersey-
puked in the corner. Here you go over here. Here's a 6.7.
There's only a certain
I
amount
crap
of
my
liquor
pants over
licenses
here.
allotted per town.
Right.
So if all these breweries, there's over 100, 150 breweries in New Jersey. Like there's definitely not that many liquor licenses available
No.
in New Jersey. It's crazy.
Why don't they just release more liquor licenses? Is that a dumb
They-
question?
No, they want to
That's a
restrict it.
little,
question.
you know, it's New Jersey. You don't really talk about
Yeah.
Is it guys with broken noses with vowels for last names?
So it's tough.
My
Like
people.
the state of New Jersey
Me
has
too.
made,
Me three. I
but
just
they're
found out.
trying to, for whatever reason, they're trying to protect their state or whatever you want to say. But the breweries in New Jersey have to
Protect
be
the guys that bribe them, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, right.
They're an educational venue. That's it. They can't serve food. They really are limited.
They have
on
those
hosting
stupid fucking rules
special
with
events.
like if they have the
The
fucking
event shit.
TVs on, that's a fucking special event.
Yeah, we're buddies with the sales manager at Bolero Snort. His name is Adrian, and he was telling us how can't play playoff games at all in New Jersey
Nope.
in a brewery.
You know, the
Well,
show
that's
sports,
because of
right?
the
No, you
that's because the gambling thing came into play too now.
Oh.
So because you're in New Jersey, they don't want you gambling at a brewery.
Or
They
on,
want
or
you
on a
back
team.
at an OTB, or they want you at your home
Correct.
on a laptop.
Yep.
Right.
They don't want you at the brewery.
But only in
gambling.
Jersey. You can't do it outside of Jersey. You can't do it in New York. You
Right,
have
right,
to
well,
be
the gambling thing, no,
Your
but
phone has to be in Jersey.
Yes.
If you want to do the app,
Your GPS has
your
to be
GPS
Jersey.
has to be in Jersey.
Yep.
You place a bet in New York,
Any
they won't
VPN?
take it.
Correct.
Can you VPN in and fucking fool them?
Well, I guess you can, but they've been getting very good at
Yeah.
They
thwarting
figure
that.
it out
Yeah.
really
My
easy.
laptop for work thinks I'm in Minnesota. I mean,
Hey.
around.
All year.
yeah.
He keeps sending his boss dick pics. All right, Minnesota.
I got ads for fucking homeowners in Minnesota
they got-
doing blah blah blah.
You know, they have,
It knows
they
your
detect
internet
the,
history, that's why.
If anybody on their phone has like a location changer or something like that, they detect all that shit.
Ah.
So
Yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
know. They
There
know
might
what
be
you're
some way,
rerouting it through.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, and we were part of the initial petition to get them to overturn that. I know it's gone back to I don't want to say writing or figuring out what they want to do with that, but I know, thank God, at this point they can still have their events.
Yeah, they've
and
kind of
right now,
squashed that
yeah, but it's still
temporarily.
there. It's not like it's
Yeah.
gone away. They haven't said no, but they still haven't said yes. So there's a bunch of things that were going on. We talked to Red Tank.
Oh my God! Remember that?
It was who else were we talking about? The
Red
wasn't
Tank
there?
and
They weren't. They
God.
weren't allowed.
Red
to have
Tank
a
we had
certain
on
amount of
a
parties,
phoner.
right?
Ross and Ross Brewing. Same thing. We were talking about to them about all the things that were going down in the state and what we could do. This was a year or maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
To kind of help out and sign the petition and get people to stop doing it. Can you imagine, Mark, not being able to do like a yoga night more than once a month, if that, at a Long Island brewery. I mean, that's what keeps a lot of these breweries going.
I
Beer in a
often find
bar,
myself going to yoga night.
paint night.
But it is. It's a
Graz
special
Graz
event.
does too.
Mark, you and I in a fucking leotard with our leg behind our neck. Wait, kidding me? My ball sack will be hanging to my right.
It might work.
We
had
Me and
I
you.
think we're onto something.
We'll get the fucking Ambassador Studios and do a little film. As
There you
we're in
go.
the yoga class, Mark and Graz's ball sack to the right.
Just put your leg around his head.
Yes. A beer in a bar.
Thank God you went that way with it.
You better make sure you get an R-rated. You know what I mean? Because
right.
if I pull it out.
So we had Cypress on too, the ones that were right over the was it Goethals or Outer Bridge or whatever, right by the convention center. So I was there a while ago for some sort of thing with my kids, and my buddy and I that took both of our sons to the thing. We're like, let's find a brewery around here. 5 minutes away. It was brilliant. So we walked in, small little place, same stuff that we'd love out of Long Island breweries, and got a really good idea of what that was about. Week later, had them call in and same thing, talked about all the events and all the things that they're fighting on down there and what they're trying to get through. It seems a little tougher.
Yeah.
It just seems a little tougher, and it's more wide open too. And I think that's part of it. It's like there's so much potential for growth in New Jersey and so much love for the industry. We're packed in on here in Long Island, but it feels a little more spread out there. So you can have another brewery, like 20, 30 miles away and still get your hyper local audience into the brewery and still carve a name out for yourself within the state.
Yeah, I think if you get down, especially down towards the shore, I mean, there's definitely, a handful of breweries in North Jersey. They're all within 20 miles from each other. I mean, Ghost Hawk.
Are they strong?
Right down
Chris,
the
are
street.
they strong? Chris, are they strong?
Next to are near each other.
Well, yeah, they're not. I mean, it's not like anybody's like right next to each other.
No, but Elementary and Hackensack Brewing
well, they are right
You
next
can
to each
walk.
other.
literally like just about next to each other.
I did that tour one.
Yeah.
If you saw it on our Instagram, I did that tour with our buddies for a wedding. Went into Elementary and had put a case in my car and then walked over to Hackensack and put another 6 crowlers in my car. And I went, there's the haul for you. And a little different styles from both, which is great. And they do a good job, I guess, on communicating back and forth on we're going to be doing this, that, and the other thing. So you might want to think about something else. I think I got a triple from Hackensack. I mean, they did some crazy stuff over there. Within a 5-minute walk, not even. It's like a block and a half.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
But how are they surviving, Michael?
And that's it. They're both carving out a name for themselves. Elementary's been around a little longer, and Hackensack is more of an up-and-comer, but they both have unique tap rooms. They both have unique styles of beer that they produce, and I think it's a camaraderie, just like here on Long Island, where we can have Hopwins and 2 industrial spots down have the Brewers Collective. I mean, literally within a throwing distance, 45 feet of one brewery, you have another brewery.
Do you think we maxed out on Long Island, Mike, Pete? Do you think we maxed out? And if we maxed out, is it?
No.
Do you think it's going to go down, or do you think it's going to go up? And Mark, please jump in. You know
what? There's a lot of I mean, from people I've spoken to. There's a lot of outstanding license requests right now on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people looking to get into it.
But are they fugazi?
Right, I think we're going to see turnover.
I don't know,
I think we're going to see places.
I told him a place opened up in Farmingdale, and he told me it was fugazi. He goes, they're getting everything shipped in. He goes, they're not brewing anything at their place.
There's some weird shit going on. There's a brewery in Huntington.
6 Harbors.
6 Harbors, right?
Doesn't even brew there.
Right. They
he ships in from New Zealand.
Right. I was floored.
Bizarre.
How could that be
from New Zealand? So he's getting. He's getting like basically like wort concentrate.
And they have fermentation tanks in there and.
That's it. So the town that he's in, and it's on the North Shore of Long Island, that was basically the compromise the town made to have the brewery in there. It's not by definition a brewery. He's getting tea essentially, and he's turning that tea into alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets this, he gets several gallons of concentrated wort, and he's turning that into beer. It's fucking bizarre.
That is
I mean, it's good. Like the product is good.
Is he
he's
going
in
to
a
survive?
Great
Pete?
location.
Is he going to survive?
Yeah,
I think because of the location.
Absolutely, yeah.
definitely
All right, Mark, do you think that what you have now, you kept it the way it was for 5 years, you didn't get any licenses, you survived the way you are right now?
I mean, I have a license, so I mean, yeah, I mean,
You're not. You're not.
You don't have
but
as
I'm
much.
not-
You don't have as
I'm
much
just not-
skin in the game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think so, yes, because of the fact that I don't have that overhead, so I can survive for a longer period of time without having to worry about
As long as North Fork doesn't go away.
Yeah,
Well, even if they do, you can
Right.
go.
Wow.
You can go
That's,
contract fucking Long Island's. 10 minutes away, right?
You gotta get up your game a little bit, but I mean, in that case, you're talking about another 5 barrels or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, there's still more breweries out there that can handle your contract.
Ralph, what do you see, Ralph, as you go? Don't you go around the United States with your filming?
So far, it's been New Jersey and Tennessee.
Don't you go all over the place with your camera?
It's been fucking 2 places. You didn't put your camera on here. You didn't put your camera on us tonight. You should have put your camera on us. So
We
we don't
got
have to
one.
move.
Hey, look, he's got his GoPro over there.
Oh god.
So
See,
what do you
professional
see?
film company using GoPros and the interconnect. I forget what they call.
So what do you see in Tennessee and New Jersey? What do
Yeah.
you feel?
Like comparing the two?
Correct. Do you think they'll survive what they got now? Or it's going to be more of a growth or less of a growth?
I think it'll definitely be more. I think in New Jersey you're seeing it's tougher to get to where they want to go in New Jersey, but that doesn't stop them because they're finding other ways to get their beers out there. They're going through distribution with, like we said, Cape May owns their own distribution company now, so they're helping push beers out there.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be more growth, but I think we're definitely going to see not necessarily a burst in the bubble, but there's going to be a lot of turnover in the next coming years.
There's going to be a
That's what I think we're going to have.
What do you think, Ruthie?
Yeah.
There's going to be a correction in the market.
Yeah.
Any other market you want to say, you're going to realize, like I was saying earlier, there's the owners that are like, I just want to make lots of money, but I don't want to do any work. Well, owning a brewery and running a brewery
It's nothing
takes
but
a
work.
lot of work.
and not
Running
a lot
any
of money.
and not a lot of
right.
money. So
And you're wearing how many hats? That's the
Right.
thing. You're the marketing. A lot of times you're the marketer. You're running the company. You're probably maybe one of the brewers, if not the brewer.
Yep.
All of these things that are people are doing, and it's a lot more than what they're expecting a lot of times.
and it's something like we run in, like when I run into like booking breweries, I'm patient in that if people don't get back to me right away, obviously I'll wait it out, but some people are just so busy, first they have one job, next thing you know, they've now added that they have to be the tasting room manager on top of running all their social media and everything
And
else.
they may have a day job on
Right.
top of all
And
that.
that's what a lot of
Most do.
people
Right?
don't
right.
realize
Most
about
do.
people in the craft industry is everybody's got another job.
And a
Ken
brand new
from-
newborn that just pisses all over his face.
What's the name of the
Only
liquor
one so
store
far.
in Jersey City? He called in a couple of weeks ago. His name was Ken. He's got a liquor store in Jersey City, and he's a home brewer.
yeah,
I can't think of the liquor store name, but we're going to be working with him as well.
Quaker, Thirsty Quaker.
Thirsty Quaker.
That's his Instagram handle. But he has, I'm trying to think of the shop name. But you're right, yeah. I mean, he has same concept. He's trying to do everything, like Mark from Hopscotch.
Yeah.
Same concept. This guy is working full time. He is everything. In order to cut costs, in order to stay in business, he and his partner Ryan are doing everything. They're
Yep.
doing the ordering. They're constantly looking at the distribution sheets. They're doing the ordering. They're there every freaking hour they can be.
Yep.
Bus tours.
Right, they're doing bus tours. They have people that come in and help when they have to, but they're cutting their costs by being able to run their shop, do the ordering, be the front of house, be the back of house, be every element of it. Same thing with brewers. It's the same thing.
But you know what's good about that too, though? Like you go into Hopscotch and what they did in there, I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing too.
Yes.
You look around and it's a really nice place to be.
Yeah, but he's
in.
a bit of a
And-
douche.
It's your business partner.
I love you, Mark.
I'm telling Mark.
No, you know what? It's you go in there and it's a really nice place to be into. I mean, it's really nice looking. And when you bring other people into the mix like that, you may not, you may give somebody, okay, you go ahead, you've got carte blanche, do what you want, and it may not be what you like, and it brings other elements into the mix too.
It does.
It may cause problems with your business model when you're doing everything yourself too. Being a bit of a control freak myself too, it's it's kind of
not
it's
you.
kind of good. No, not me.
No.
Not me. Maybe not.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Pete's like that too. Love you, Pete.
Yes, he is.
Pete's the talent.
Pete is definitely the talent.
You've been listening to shows, haven't you? Hold on a second. I don't like when guests come on and repeat what Graz says.
I got to take a little reprieve from the regular talk for just a second.
Yeah,
and I just have to say something to Ralph that yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This Ralph.
Put some soft, relaxing music
Don't
on.
feed that ego. Please don't do it.
Don't get married. Is that what you're gonna say?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
No, I'm gonna say,
I know
I'm
what
gonna
Ruth
say-
was thinking. She's like, please don't say it.
I'm gonna say struck gold.
Mm-hmm.
She loves beer. She's fun. She laughs, and she quotes movies.
Absolutely.
That's
true.
You know what I mean?
You're
That's-
blessed, Ralph.
No,
You're
she gets the
blessed.
movie quotes from me.
You know,
Everything
if
else
it's Mel
I give-
Brooks, I
give
got it
everything else
from
I
me.
give her credit for.
when you just threw out Gator before, I'm just
Mark's eyes turned up. He goes, "I love you. Don't marry him. I got more money."
I'm picturing her going, Gator's bitches better be wearing Jimmy's.
Ralph, I'll send.
Gator needs his gat.
Mark's like, "I'll send you a dick pic. Trust me, I got this."
Please
I
send
already
Ralph.
did.
Please send Ralph a dick pic. He will really appreciate it.
I do. I have a
It's,
private folder.
He likes to admire other cocks
I
in this
already
world.
did. That's why he Isla fished me under the table.
Nice.
Oh.
Holy shit! All right, Mark, open him up on the air. I want to hear your response. When you see
Stop
Mark,
traffic,
you're
because
gonna
when I get home, I'm going to go see a Dalai Lama. Chiropractor, that's what it was. Sorry, I fucked up the line. Or you can send your dick pics to Kings Park Brewing Company on Instagram.
Care of Norfolk Brewery, Ryan and whoever else.
No, Pete and Ian.
All right,
All
Pete.
right, anyway.
Yes.
Jesus
The
Christ.
Graz.
What's the ultimate goal here? I know we talked about it's a web series. Is it a film? What do you think are we trying to put together a bigger project here, or we're going to just start off with this and see how this catches on and then move forward?
Funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah. So we definitely are. We're still kind of flip-flopping around a little bit about the ultimate end game. Or do we want to do a full-length documentary on the top of it as well? We're definitely trying to get a web series that we want to get picked up. We'd love to get on a streaming service at some point in time. There's a lot of shows out there about food, a lot of travel shows,
Well, if you watch one of my favorite new documentaries that came out, and Pete's going to roll his eyes, it's called Ska in the 90s. It was all about 90s ska, and it's a documentary, self-funded, a little Kickstarter
Oh,
program
really?
and stuff like
You're
that.
kidding?
Yeah, well,
There
no
wasn't
one
like
gives
a big
shit.
name backer?
Yes, yes.
It's fucking shocking.
No big investors.
Fuck
for
off! I
Man,
fucking
ska
I
in the
love the
90s.
90s. And
you like ska.
but they self-produced,
Fish
they
still
self-distributed.
Yeah.
And he made a butt ton of money through Amazon and Netflix and Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that, but selling at festivals, and I think that would be a really good tie-in if you can put together some sort of documentary and then be at festivals selling that service or that subscription. I don't know if even that would work.
Right.
But like promoting it in that way, people would tune in. I spent my $5.99 or $9.99 just to see some of the things that I grew up listening to in live shows and collecting old vintage footage that they got and put together, giving a little history, cartooning some of it. There was a lot of work that went into it, but I really think from what I got out of that, I could probably get something just like that out of craft beer.
Right.
Even in every region, in the Northeast, in the Northwest, in the South.
Pretty much what we're doing.
And something we talked about.
Regionalize and documentary and how each area, and then come together at one big one after you've collected all that data from all the regions, almost like Voltron, right? I mean, I'm going to, again, quote 90s, cartooning. If you go into the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, the Northeast, the Northwest, and then you pool that all together at the very end as the 6-part series, you can kind of really drive home the concept of how this all started, get a good idea and a concept of how it all came about, find the full timeline,
right,
and then pull that all together in the final piece. Bring it from then till now. I think that would really tie in. People would buy into that, without a doubt.
That's another reason. As much as he's a douche, he's brilliant. Right?
Well, that's another reason why we're doing it.
It was based on ska in the 90s, by the way. Everyone that laughs at it.
No, he's really brilliant, Ralph. I mean, he is.
I believe it.
But Pete is definitely the talent on the show.
But that's another reason why we're starting it
that up.
as a web series. It's because now we can put it on a platform like YouTube for free, and people can. All they have to do is subscribe to our channel to watch it. That'll get our information out there ahead of time, so that way, if we do want to do, a full-length thing, multi-part doc series, something like that, now we have a name. Now we have a name recognition. Now people would know. Okay, those are the guys that did.
It's all about branding and marketing.
Exactly.
It's all about getting the name out.
The reason we kind of pushed to the point where we're going to do a web series was also who is going to see.
Nope. Try again.
The most.
Try again. Do the happy face.
That's a Hackensack. Here you go.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Mark from Hopscotch.
What platform can we use to expose the most people to what we have to say or what we have to show? And
I think
Ralph and
Netflix and Amazon would be the two big ones.
Like Ralph and I are huge fans of Hot Ones. I don't know if you know Hot Ones.
Hot Ones is.
I love Hot Ones. I don't know if you know Hot Ones. Such a great show. It's a YouTube channel, millions of followers. We figured our market, the people who care about craft beer, are people who are that age or that demographic that are going to be on YouTube. Or they're gonna listen to podcasts. That's
in between their cat videos. Hey, watch this doc about beer.
Meow. That's our target audience, and if we just decided to just put out a documentary, we would not have the exposure and the success.
Oh, you're right. You have to build up the brand.
Yeah, there is no way that we can just.
Ruth, put Chris and Ralph in a fucking thong and you in a bikini, and it'll work. Trust me.
Look, we'll get millions of subscribers.
I'm telling you right now.
Cleaning out a mash tun.
we joke about that all the time. About all we have to do is just get a couple of girls in bikinis, and
but it's so true.
It's so true.
Sign up Hot Slut 69.
Chris, there's an Instagram that's got 10,000 followers.
That's a real account.
She puts a closed beer by her boob and a thong on her bed with a fucking cat next to her, and she's got 10,000 likes.
That's what I should just do. We'll throw Nugget on the bed with me in my lingerie. That does. But that was something.
Busty Beer Babe.
Yeah, Busty. I put my dog next to me. I get fucking 5 likes.
Your dad will love that.
And somebody tells me you're a fat fuck.
It does. It says one comment, you're a fat fuck.
One comment, you're a fucking ugly hound. Your dog is beautiful. 5 likes.
There you go. I didn't realize that.
God bless.
So put me in a
Shabbat
fucking
shalom.
thong, put me in some pasties, and I'll get 10,000 likes.
You might. You might.
But that's something that Chris and I talked about, like coming at this from a woman's perspective. Like, sex shouldn't sell everything.
But it does.
Well, I agree with you.
Yet
like,
here we are.
No. And I agree with you. But that sex does sell everything. But like, we wanted to make sure that we were a company, and we were putting out something that was respectful to everybody. Something we've learned with Jackalope in Nashville is it's partially a woman-owned and ran brewery. When we talked to them, that was something I was proud of. And I'm not like a screaming feminist or anything, but it's nice to hear that women are doing better than we were. And what they said to me or said to us on the phone was, we actually don't push that we're partially a female-owned brewery because we think that if our beer is good, it shouldn't matter if it's a man or a woman making that beer. You drink our beer because it's fucking delicious.
Right.
And that's something we didn't want to have to sell our product on sex.
Yeah.
It just wasn't appealing to us. It wasn't.
So you're not going to sign up Hop Slut 69 to be
No.
So you're not wearing a thong or little pasties?
We're gonna
We'll
pass.
see.
I mean,
We'll
Chris
see when
may say
season
yes.
2 rolls around.
So if you get a T-shirt
We're
together,
really
just send
needing
it
some
to some of these girls for free, and they'll wear it, and you take a picture.
A lot of dick pics in season 2.
Season 2, Ralph and Chris beg Ruthie to wear a fucking thong and pasties.
I have my T-shirt.
We brought a couple of T-shirts in.
Oh, yeah. We have T-shirts for you guys too.
If you give me a T-shirt, my wife will wear it to bed.
That's pretty much what happens with all the T-shirts we get, right? It's like my wife gets it.
But you know what?
See it on the
I'll
gram
I'll
there.
never forget it.
For our crew shirts.
Yeah. There you go. That's awesome.
Will work for
Nice.
beer.
All right.
We only brought
Thank you.
two. We can send more.
That's all right.
Please, I'm the
enough.
fucking
I put
black
mine on my
sheep.
head. That's
I
how
get
do it.
nothing.
Well, you wear a medium?
Yeah.
He wears a
It costs them
medium.
extra for the
medium
6XL.
Speedo.
The mediums are right around my right ball.
That'll
But
get
he
him
does
some
wear an extra
followers. Let me
small
tell
Speedo.
you.
We know that.
That'll get him lots
Ruth,
of followers.
if you got me a medium, it would go over my right nipple.
I pay to see the left.
My left one's a little bit bigger. You'd like it.
Isn't that the truth with everyone? Everyone's a little.
Oh, Billy.
Nobody's perfect.
Hey, do the tuck in really quick and then wear a medium. Do the old tuck. Let's wrap this up because I got to pee and I got to wake up at 5:30.
And I have a newborn.
And you have a newborn. And I'm
You're
honestly
wearing
just
a
saying that
shirt
because
on top of your head.
I don't give a fuck what time I have to wake up. Pete's got to go home.
You're
so
wearing a shirt on your head.
New Jersey State PD's waiting for us.
Yes.
across the line.
Oh, hell yeah.
On the state line.
I do have to ask one thing though. So
Yes, go
when I
ahead.
went into the bathroom before,
There's a
I don't
squatty
know-
potty?
I don't know what's going on
Yeah.
in here. I'm looked down. The garbage can is there. There's shot glasses in the bathroom garbage can.
Yep.
There's like old pieces of bread and a fucking crawfish.
Bread.
By the way, when
There's a fucking crawfish in the
I can
bathroom.
answer
Where are
that.
we?
I walked into that bathroom and I was like, "There's been a lot of sex in this bathroom."
You had the black light too.
Oh God!
That's
When I
not
walked
far
in there,
from
I
the truth.
said,
I'll be honest with you.
A lot of bitches
So,
fucked in this bathroom.
I'll give you the history really quick. This bathroom is really the back room, green room, comics area bathroom. So who knows what goes on your standard Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights?
Cocaine and semen.
Pretty much.
What a great combo!
Oh, good lord.
Ralphie, you hit it right on the fucking nose. if I had a camera every time I saw cocaine and somebody getting banged in the bathroom, I'd be a fucking millionaire.
I don't know how many times he's spending time in the bathroom.
4
but-
years, trust me, it's been
All
more
right.
than once.
There you go.
While all you
I think I walked
whippersnappers
into
were
the
out
wrong
there
bathrooms
watching the Smurfs and all of that, there was a club over there called Spit.
Yes.
That I mean, we were there every weekend.
Wow.
It was just,
You're not older than me. Don't even go there. I'm older than you.
I don't know about
I'm
that.
54.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
Are you? You're much
Little
better looking,
fucker.
and I would
He
fucking
aged
hang
a
out
lot
with you
better than you
anytime
did,
I-
Graz. Jesus.
I would hang out with him. I like him.
I heard Grass was like 67.
Did you ever
right?
hear of in 69?
No. Hey, Mark, you familiar with Franklin Square at all?
A little bit with Fungal Square.
Okay. I ran a bar there for 18 years called Inns 41. It was where the old poppies were, where Sandcastle is.
Okay.
So the gentleman that is my
Strictly a
co-host.
Coke bar.
What'd you say?
Pretty much.
What'd you say?
Shitting in
Said strictly a Coke bar.
Shitting in pickle buckets.
Yeah, we had our moments. All right, fuck you, Pete. You don't have to tell everybody. That's for my show on Limo Talk.
They moved. I hear that they moved that bar over to Shit Bottom.
Yes. Right next to it.
So my co-host on my show for 20 years is the bar owner I used to work for. So, and Mike is friends with him now too. We're all friends.
Yeah.
But not Pete, because Pete's
Right.
just a dick with 3 kids and a
Right.
newborn.
That's right.
Yep.
That's why people
True
want to go
statement.
home.
And Pete's computer's in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah.
Pete's betting on horses in Minneapolis. In another time
Native
zone.
American
He's betting on
casinos
the
out there.
Meadowlands. He's betting on the Meadowlands. Listen, I'm not in New York. I'm in Minneapolis.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's go through the let's say
Plugs.
Plugs. That's a good word for it. I was going to say, promoting yourself. Plugs is a better radio term. I'm glad you're on the radio terms tonight. I'm less on the radio terms tonight. I had a long day. I was up at 4:30. Anyway,
Mark's
Mark,
a home run. Dude, Mark's a home run.
I know. Mark is a home run. Give us a little breakdown. Where can people find it right now? What bars are you serving in?
I'm actually
contacting you.
right after I leave here. I'm going to deliver a keg over to Tap and Barrel over in.
Oh, you
Hop
are?
Hog,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Nice.
They are absolutely one of the best customers I have.
Where's that, Mark?
Hop Hog, Tap and Barrel, Hop Hog.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You and I are fucking
Tony's
eight
great.
ball. We'll go
And
there?
Tony, the owner of Tap and Barrel, also is part owner of Killington Brewery with
Mike
Mike from Port
Right.
Judge.
Yep.
K1 is a fantastic fucking IPA. I like
He
that.
goes skiing in Killington, and,
Nice.
and literally they brew it down here. He goes
Yeah,
up
so
there to get
we-
it and brings it back.
We stopped. We hung out with the guys from Long Island,
Mm-hmm.
and I see like a fucking pallet of K1 sitting there, and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, I like it's being brewed here, driven up there. I'm buying it up there and bringing it fucking back here, and it's right in fucking Riverhead this whole fucking time.
That's why. Sounds
about right.
Over there with a truck.
The carbon footprint of that beer is
As I say,
terrible.
it sounds about right.
It's what it takes. I mean, when people put stuff together and they want, that's. And now Mike's got his hand in Patchwork Beer Project too. So it's so many things that these guys are trying to revenue streams, we'll call it, right? I mean, just trying to get in the red. Is that the right term in the business?
black.
In the black.
You wanna be in
Sorry,
the
the
black.
red is not good, right? But that's it. You want to try to do everything you can, and when you have established yourself as a premier brewer and taking on partnerships and stuff like that, you can start, really producing great beer and getting it all over.
Yeah.
Where can people find out where else your beer can be? Is it on
I have,
your website
I have
or
a website?
KingsParkBrewery.com.
KingsParkBrewing.com. Yes, and I don't update it as much as I should. I try to get on and throw stuff out on Facebook and Instagram as much as possible. Again, it's not always that easy with fucking work always getting in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. But I mean, we're constantly rotating through a bunch of different bars. I have I'm adding new places all the time, and like I said, we're trying to make a new footprint out in New York City right now. So
that's really
I'm gonna
the
concentrate
the
out there
drive
a
right
lot.
now.
Yeah,
to get in
it's-
there.
I think it really could be pretty nice. I got a little at the event I did last Thursday out on Lexington. I got the owner of the company. He was so happy with everything. He wound up giving me a CSV file with a lot of contact names on it.
Nice.
There's probably about 280 different bars that he's got contact.
You need a
details
salesman?
for.
I'm in. I used to sell
Will
Pete's
you wear-
Wicked Ale.
Will you wear a tutu?
I will wear whatever the fuck you tell me to wear. I used to sell Pete's Wicked Ale for what was that for Claire Rose. That was 35 years ago.
a
We used to
while
go into
ago, man.
bodegas.
Pete's
They didn't even
Wicked
speak
Ale.
English. I'm like, here, I'm putting this in there. Okay.
And that really is the push and drive right now. Is just to get a little more distribution,
Yeah.
a little more production, and continue
no
on
doubt.
until you can finally get the brick and mortar going,
Right.
and just I guess supplement the money that's coming in from these to go to that.
And really right now it's just a a matter of just trying not to lose too much money. Trying to keep pretty solvent so that you can keep that going. To hope that at some point you break out a little bit, and move ahead a little bit. I also had an idea of possibly trying to pool together with some of the other craft guys to form our own like a distribution company among us that are doing self-distribution.
There you go, like K-May, yeah, sure.
It
Do a
may-
Long Island-based
yeah.
distribution company.
It may be able to work out and may not. It's hard. There's so many things that are involved with that. With when you're talking about insurances, then and everything else.
Yeah.
So.
Crossing state lines,
yeah,
right
that's-
away
that's-
you're dealing with
yeah,
some bullshit.
That's a tough one right there, in itself. I actually, I've been a Oakland Raiders fan now, Las Vegas Raiders fan for my entire life.
When are we going? I'm in.
They're building the
fucking
Death
sit with
Star
you.
out there.
Mark,
If you haven't seen
Mark.
that thing,
Mark, I'll go to the
black
fucking
on
opening
black.
day with you. That place is gonna be great.
Very good. I'll send you a dick pic for plane fare.
Tom Brady's gonna be your starting quarterback.
No,
You know
he's
that,
not.
right?
No,
All
he is
right.
not.
I'm telling
There's
you.
No
Listen, I don't
fucking
want this to
way.
go another 40 minutes. Don't
No
get into
fucking way.
limo
Yeah.
talk right now.
Why?
Jesus
All I said
Christ.
was
But
Tom Brady
I'm
was gonna be a starting
constantly-
quarterback for Vegas.
Yeah, all right.
I'm constantly trying to, anytime I go anywhere, and my wife jokes about it too, because I'm like, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm talking to somebody. I just kind of throw something out, and so I belong to a Raider booster club out in Manhattan.
Really?
Yeah, it's we watch the games at a place called Peter Dillon's in Manhattan on Sundays, and we do a trip out to Oakland every year. Now it'll be Las Vegas. But through that, I got to meet, I don't know if you're familiar with Hall of Famer Kenny Stabler.
Never heard of her.
Well, there
You
you
look
go.
exactly like him.
Well, his daughter goes to these events, and I got to talking to her, and we talked about the possibility of doing like a beer in his memory. So it's like I'm constantly trying to work out something.
Anything.
Anything. It's just
networking.
a matter of, and it's exactly you always just got to keep your mind open and look for something different all the time and not just be so. Can't be uptight and worried about everything. You just gotta just go for it, do it, and that's why this model actually works out pretty well because I don't have to worry about rent at the building and the tanks and everything else and employees and workers' comp and all that kind of stuff.
You can actually keep all the dishes spinning while
Right.
Still getting the beer out there
and still work my regular job.
Right, absolutely.
So it's
so
great.
check them out. It's Kings Park Brewing Company.
Yep.
.com or go on to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that other awesome stuff. Gentlemen, Ruth. Hello. Let's talk a little bit about very quickly. What's upcoming directly. What's the plans for the next release? The Bolero Snort, I guess, videos are going to be coming out on YouTube.
Yeah, well, we basically will release our teaser video for Bolero. We've got 6 different breweries episodes in editing right now.
Okay.
So we're not exactly sure when we're going to drop the first episode yet, but probably in the next 2 months.
this year.
Yeah. So probably in the next 2
sooner
months.
than just this year.
Yeah, we'll
that's like 8-9 months.
Within
of
first
first
half of
point
this year of the next
Please.
half
sometime
of this year.
soon.
How much?
But when will then be now?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Just to let you know, the world's greatest veterinarian, James Sturziano, is following me now.
Yay!
String fan.
Jesus Christ.
The hell of a mandolin player.
Give us
how many hours of like film do you do for
Oh
to
my
be able to
gosh.
put together one episode?
It varies, right? But I mean, we can take. So we probably have more footage from Bolero than anywhere we've filmed so far.
Because we filmed their opening too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were able to film their opening. We, ironically, when we filmed at Ironbound, I think maybe, which is a cidery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not just doing beer, right? We're clearly we hit Ironbound hard cider. Just not really going to stray too far from beer, but we're going to hit some interesting craft lifestyle things.
Mm-hmm.
God, dude, hours and hours and hours. I mean, we filmed 3 days at Ironbound.
That's really where the project kind of evolved from just talking heads to us doing like a sit-down type interview.
You should come out and hang out here one night.
I mean, it's a lot like this.
You should come hang out with us.
Without the mics directly in your face.
Isn't that what they're doing right now?
No, they should film the work with Mike and Pete and then limo talk
We're
on
not
Thursday
brewery
nights.
people. Get out of here. You should come to AC Beer Fest.
We'll
and
be there.
film at
We'll
AC
be
Beer
there.
Fest.
What I said earlier.
Oh, I won't be. I won't be there.
No, you won't. Exactly. That's my point. Would you get permission to film there? Would it be part of that?
So we would have to probably contact the production company that puts on especially one that size.
Right. Yeah.
And then we'd have, clearly we have to do the thing where we post the signs for people coming in. You're
Ambassador
you're
Studios is
basically giving away your likeness to be filmed when you enter this
I don't
facility.
do that. And I just turn the little USB camera around and just point it out and say, if you walk by, it just happens to be something.
Right?
You're on camera. Deal with it.
Live video. I mean,
but yeah, we would have to we definitely have to contact them. We
I'm
usually
sure
have
if you
come
did
in,
interviews and
certificate of
stuff like that,
insurance
yeah.
and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So very legit.
As what you're trying to do to that level, I'm not. We're not trying to be that legit. We're having a great time doing what we're doing.
We're having a great
That's the
time
point,
being
right?
around.
Yes.
Dude, I literally joke if you look on my Facebook or my Instagram, it's like Ruth Jaws drinks beer for a living.
Right.
That's my job.
Nice.
Part of my job is I get to drink beer for a living, and I get to try so many things, or we get to try so many things, and meet so many great people. And craft
Isn't that the
beer
point?
isn't just about the immediate drinking beer. Craft beer is about the people who come in.
The community.
And the community. And New Jersey is at that point where they need that beer, that craft beer community. They don't have it yet. And here in Long Island, it seems like you guys have a super tight group.
Because we have nowhere else to go. I mean, we're surrounded by water. We're totally fucked if anything else comes.
Plus, they're
In
not
New Jersey,
talented.
You see that we need
Right.
that commitment
I'm kidding, Mike. I'm
to
kidding.
craft beer.
Yeah.
And we'll
But
see
that's
if we
what's
can help.
evolving.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
We're gonna drink our way through it.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
if anything else, we'll just get drunk along the way. It's fine. Give us the big plug. So where can people find you on YouTube for these web series? Any other contact information that you want to dole out there?
Right now, you can follow us on Instagram at In Hops We Trust Film. In Hops We Trust Film.
I'm friends with them.
Graz is
Thanks,
friends with us.
Graz.
He's following us. We're gonna send him a couple dick pics.
Nice.
Nice.
I might
My
even
dick is
show up to
huge,
one of
by
you
the
when,
way.
when you're filming one day. I'm going to just show up with a picture of Pete, with a large picture of Pete. Pete, I'm going to get you one of those things that they use in the college games. Just a picture of you.
We need
the big
finger?
heads.
The big heads.
No, the big heads.
Oh,
So
the
Pete's head.
Because I got to make
we've
Pete.
done
Pete's
that
the
for my
talent.
cousins.
Pete doesn't like me too much. If Pete doesn't want me to come in, I can't come in.
Pete's
I gotta
tired
keep
and
him
wants to go
happy.
home. That you're delaying the process.
We need to get you on as a guest on one of the. So
Yes.
we always bring
Yes.
in a guest to the breweries when we're filming our roundtable section.
Am I
careful
allowed
what
to
you wish
curse?
for.
Am I allowed to
100%.
curse?
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
you know how
We
you-
had Mike from Hackensack Brewing.
I'm
in
better than Mike
Valero's
from
episode.
Hackensack Brewing. Trust me, I
need to
am
come
a
over.
fucking blast.
You know how you'll get Graz down there? You get the round table session and you surround it by bus seats. right down there.
They all
Save
slide
the
back.
broken
They
one
all
for
slide
him.
You,
back.
Mark! I gotta put a fucking wrap around that seat. I can't find a seat for that fucking thing. I hate you, Mark.
He just found one for you earlier.
Yeah,
On
but he's
eBay.
got
On eBay.
$50. Don't
as shit.
blacklight it.
Just do blacklight it.
Comes preloaded with cum stains.
Sounds like the fucking promo for my limo talk show on Thursday night. Don't put the black light on limo talk. You'll find the cum stains.
Delivered straight from Siemens.
And it's perfect for the second to last seat, too, because on that one there was actually a dildo sewn into the seat and one right on the back of the other seat.
Mark,
right
stop
at that
making
level.
fun of my
Glory
business.
hole back seat.
If my business goes down, I'm coming after you, fucking nomadic, wherever you are in 9 different breweries.
My name.
So when do you guys get it?
My
What is
name's
the,
not Mark. It's Ed.
Ed.
I'm Ed.
Ed.
And I'm not at Norfolk Brewery. I'm at Secatog.
Oh, what
Dick
was
pics.
that?
You got a dick pic.
An auditory medium.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. It is a dick
That's the
pic.
thing. It happens.
Unbelievable.
Oh, boy.
Oh, nice.
No way.
So when does episode 1 premiere on Crackle?
Is Crackle still
Wait, I
out
have to show
there?
you this. This is hilarious.
We're going straight to Twitch.
You're gonna go straight to Twitch.
I
And
never,
this new
I
thing,
never
Quibi.
saw it. I never saw a bald man run that quick to see a dick pic.
It's because I was holding it.
Dude, my sexuality is hidden. My wife with 4 children. I would look at you in a thong and go to Puerto Rico and fucking Vegas in 3 seconds.
He would post it all on Visco. That's his whole point.
And I would put it on
confused.
Facebook and we'd be fucking spooning together on the first night.
Who's the little spoon?
All right, listen, Graz, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
That's it, we're done?
All right.
We're,
What do
yeah.
you mean that's it? We're done.
So can I plug the Wort with Mike and Pete?
You don't have to plug anything. But go
Oh,
ahead.
Go listen to
I gotta get a text from Mike
Limo
tomorrow.
Talk with Graz, weekday afternoons at 4 p.m., 3 Central.
3 Central.
Yes.
That's not how time
After the
zones
tarot
work.
card
What's
reader.
the APR on that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Pete, it's on Thursday nights at 9:45, and Mad Dog Russo didn't call in this week because he was on vacation.
That's crazy.
I thought he died.
He's
No,
not
not
dead.
yet.
That was
Not yet.
John, that was Captain Thunder.
I don't have a little hey na, but Graz, thanks for coming in tonight. I appreciate you stopping by and
Can I
enjoying
come to
some of
AC
the.
with Pete?
Well, listen, you can talk to Pete. I'll see if I can allocate you a ticket, but
You're
you
telling
might
me
be
that
sleeping on the floor that night.
I promise you
Yeah.
that I will be nice. I will drive
I'm not
Pete
saying you
in.
won't be. I'm just saying there may not be a space at the hotel. We have a suite, but there may not be a couch for you. We have allocated
I'll
all
sleep
the.
in the tub.
Okay, that's fine. All right,
I
good.
mean-
I like that. I like that.
No, I won't sleep on the tub,
We're
but
gonna
if
hold
you
that
give
to
me a
him.
fucking
He's going to be held to that.
couch,
Yep,
can I
he's
get
going
a
to be held to
couch?
that. 100% held to that. No, there's no couches. Nothing.
I'm not coming.
All the beds
I'm
are
not coming.
all. I'm just saying. I'm
going
sorry,
to
but
Kings Park. I'm gonna
I would
lay
love
on
for you to
fucking
come.
Mark's couch.
You want to sleep in the car? You want to sleep in the car?
See, fuck you.
I don't want you to. I'm just asking.
So
if
you didn't even
You
ask
want an
me
air
to come.
mattress?
You know what? I don't want to talk to you. The Wort with Mike and Pete. Enjoy yourselves in AC, the AC Beer Fest. I want to hang out with Ambassador Studios. I want to hang out at Kings Park Brewery. I want to hang out. Go ahead, Chris. Tell me something. Where am I going to hang out with you?
In Hops We Trust.
In Hops We Trust. And Ruthie's trying to find a place where she can get married to Ralphie within the next year.
Probably in Tennessee.
All right?
Yes.
I'm leaving.
All right.
Should I take a picture of you guys before I leave?
Yes, well, we're not
Sure.
done. All right, this is the Word with Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. Thanks a lot for Graz today for coming in. Of course, we want to thank our guests in studio today, Mark from Kings Park Brewing Company here on Long Island, up and coming. Check him out. He'll have some of his cans and his Kolsch Blonde Ale style out and about, so look for that.
Ask for it at your local beer distributor
absolutely.
or a bar.
Anybody that's in and around, ask for it. They'll get in touch with Mark, and they'll have it supplied to you, and it'll be great. Of course, you got to check out In Hops We Trust on Instagram. Also, Ambassador Studios, Ralph and Chris and Ruth for coming down and
Thank you.
hanging out with us and bringing some awesome New Jersey beers. I'm making me more excited about AC Beer Fest.
Yeah.
April 3rd and 4th, which we are sponsored by. We're going to have a great time. A couple of our shows coming up. I will in just a moment. We have Eastern Front coming up on March. What's today? Is today? Yeah, March 9th.
March 9th.
We have Uber Geek coming at the end of March, and we have AC Beer Fest 3rd and 4th, and then of course we're going to go right back in the saddle here in the studio with Bronx Brewing on April 6th. So we got a bunch of people coming up. Sorry, I'm like hiccuping as I'm trying to talk. I haven't taken a breath. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun, and beyond that, we have a couple of people that we're going to get on the hook and on the schedule, and we'll have a great time. So anything to add, Pete, before we get out of here?
I need a shot of adrenaline. So if
Do you?
anyone deals in adrenaline,
Don't let your girls get spayed and neutered.
This is not your outro. So this is the Word with Mike at PeteGovsRadio.com. Anything left to say, Pete?
don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back in a few weeks. We out.
All right.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life you're never getting back.
First off, it was 3 hours.
What the fuck? Honestly, how can you talk about beer for 3 hours?
It's beer. There's so many elements in it.
Where's mine? It's been 3 hours and I don't even get a single beer.
You don't get shit.
This is the Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.